here where I am trying something a little different now, and I actually fuck around with Unity when I'm not streaming video games and when I'm not working my day job. And I thought it would be kind of fun to stream creation of like a 4x real-time strategy game. The creation from the very, very beginning. And so I think that's what I'm gonna do. If I don't like it, I probably won't stream it again. We'll see how I feel about streaming this way. I did want to give a little information about my background in computer languages. And I pretty much don't have a background in that. I'm a complete beginner. I don't know anything. This isn't a tutorial. I wanted to make that clear. This is not a tutorial. We're just gonna fuck around and hopefully we'll get a game out of it. I've been fucking around with Unity for a while now, though, so I have some other things that I have worked on here. And I know we're gonna have to reference this one because I can't remember how to do anything. The other thing that you might notice is that I'm using like the brandest newest version of Unity. And I also use the brandest newest version of Visual whatever, Visual Code, what the fuck is it called? Visual Studio 2022. So when I've watched like a ton of tutorials, and we might even watch some together at some point in this stream. Not in this stream, but hopefully not in this stream. But everyone always has these ancient, crappy versions of Unity. They're like, wow, 2019 is the best one. Well, I don't agree with that. My idea, my concept when you're making a video game is to always start on the brandest, newest version. It might be shitty and it might be buggy, but you got to start on the, because it's going to take time. It's going to take like 5 years to get this game done, right? That we're going to make right now. It's going to take 5 fucking years. And you don't want to be on 2019 in 5 years. Because they're going to stop supporting that shit. It's going to start breaking. All this new shit you're going to be behind. So I always start all of my projects, and I'm an IT guy. I also keep everything like really up to date. Not up to date where it's like everything is broken. We're in kind of like the broken stage of Unity right now, and this is not like this is their long-term whatever it's called version. It's not their, everything's fucked version. And I do know that there's a lot of people who are against Unity, and I'm fine with that. I think that I tried to switch over to Godot. I don't know if I still have it on my desktop somewhere. I fucked around with Godot for a while, and I found it extremely primitive compared to Unity, and I haven't ever used Unreal. But I feel like Unreal is more for like graphics-based games. And what we're gonna do is a 2D. We're gonna do a 2D. I should have put that in the description. Maybe I'll edit my description real quick. 2D real time let's do that. 2D. So we're gonna get started here, and I know, like I said, I'm gonna have to reference my other game that I've been working on for much longer, which is called Cult, because it has some of the things we're gonna be using. So once again, this is not a tutorial. This is just me fucking around, and I'll make this an open source project though. If you do want to look at the source code and things, so obviously you'd want to have Unity installed. Otherwise, you're fucked. We're gonna start a new project. We're gonna call it, and we're gonna pick this URP. Why are we picking the 2D URP? Because it's better. Just trust me on that. There's a lot of stuff that, so as we go through this, I'm probably doing like tons of stuff wrong. That is just how it is. This is just the way I've figured out how to do it so far. We're gonna call this 2D real time for X. I'm thinking a little X is better. Big X. All right. And then we'll create the project, and this is gonna take 2 years for it to create here. I want my stats up, my OBS stats, because I'm curious how well this is going to work with Unity grinding away in the background. When I do this, that's how I'm testing to see if there's any like weird lag that OBS isn't telling me. So this new version is much slower than the old version for creating a new. It is much slower than 2021.1 or 2022.1. So that's like part of the problem with being on the cutting edge. But I still feel like you should be on the cutting edge, and at some point you're just not going to want to upgrade anymore because it's going to break your project. But that should be way down the line. Like if you're working on a project, it's going to take 5 years, which is what it's going to take. It's going to take 5 years to do anything. You're going to want to be on the newest version because halfway through the old version might get aged out or whatever, like I was saying earlier. And you don't want to have to like right before release update everything because you're gonna have all these issues. And so you might as well deal with the the update of Unity issues while you're developing the game. And I see tons and tons of tutorials where they're like, just use 2020, just use 2020 and then don't ever upgrade it. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you have to upgrade it some point. And as like in IT, like that's like the horrors when Microsoft suddenly stops supporting something and everyone has to upgrade all their shit and servers are breaking and everything. Like, they send out an email sometimes and say like, hey, did you know that you were supposed to upgrade 10 years ago and you didn't? And then the next day everything's broken. And that's like why certain stuff like I remember recently, not recently, it was like in the past couple of years, there was some SSL cert went bad and everyone's shit broke because no one listened to them updating. So I just always I keep on the edge of the cutting edge for now. Like I said, this takes a fucking eternity to create a new project, but I wanted to show you exactly what I was doing in the URP. I hope I picked the URP. Can I move this thing around? Oh, it doesn't tell me. I did. This is on a physical drive, not a SSD. So I'm wondering if it's the physical drive. These take up like a significant number of space for the fact that it's just all text and shit. We're just gonna be doing a bunch of text. We're gonna do very little graphical stuff at all today or ever. It's gonna be very basic. The other thing that I guess I can go into while we're waiting here is I like to break every project, every part of the program that we're working on down to its smallest component, which I know that's like pretty standard. But I mean everything, break it all the way down and then make the game just start to work with just the most smallest, tiniest parts. And so like today, all we're going to try to do is we're going to say, so it's going to be a 4X that I think I want it to take place in North America and be post-apocalyptic with like after the apocalypse and people are running out of resources, but they can go try to continue using like machine guns or whatever, or they can go the way of magic. That's my idea here. So they can like start researching the magic ways and summon demons and shit. And there'll be different factions. This is all way down the road. This is 5 years from now. And so, we would probably start with a map of North America, but we don't actually even need to do that at this point. We need to break it down even smaller. We're just going to set up, like there would be provinces. So let's think of like Crusader Kings 3. There's provinces, each province is like a state or a province in real life, and you click on them and you get a, did I even finish what I was talking about? How much knowledge I have? How little knowledge I have? Basically, I took a C+ class like 30 years ago. And then I fucked around with Unity and stuff since then, and that was the past couple of years. So I basically have no practical or working skills. I am in IT, so I guess I get some of the stuff. Man, look how slow that shit is. Good God, some knowledge being in the IT world, but we're gonna go to the very basics. So, anyways, back to what I was talking about with the provinces. So we would have like California and Oregon at some point, probably two. We'd break California into two provinces, but whatever. California and Oregon. But right now we don't even need to make that shit. We're just going to put two squares, and all we want to be able to do is click on one square and then click on the other square. One square will be owned by the AI and one will be owned by us. And when I say owned by the AI, right now we're not going to do anything with the AI, so it's just going to be one square we'll be able to click on and the other square we won't. And will be the start. And once we get after we get the squares that we can click on that we say are ours, and like let's say we click on one, it's going to bring up a name on the left hand side, just like think Crusader Kings 3. Name on the side of the province, who owns it, etc., etc., etc. We'll have that working. Then we'll have like a person. So like in CK3, there's no one's actually moving around. I know you're thinking, you're like, my guys move all over the map. It's actually just a guy standing there being animated. He's just like animated standing still, and he's pretending to walk forward. And then when a timer kicks off, it turns off that animation and turns it on a new province, and it moves like it probably just copies a list over to the new province. So we're gonna do the same thing. It's not going to be like the finished game won't be like CK3, but that's the closest thing I can think of. It might be more like Dominions. Dominions is turn-based, but real time is going to be as easy as turn-based. And I know that seems weird, but turn-based, you just click a button to make the time go forward. Real time, the time is just going to go forward on its own. And in Unity, it's really easy to make the multiply the time to make it go faster or go slower. I do remember I was having an issue with the pause button and opening a panel, but we'll see. Like I said, I'm a beginner. I'm a noob, and I knew this was gonna take a long time, but I forgot it took this long. A lot of times I get up and take a break while it's doing this. I don't know why it takes so long. Anyways, we do know that we're gonna need this. Oh, I don't know if I can open another one. I do know I need to get to this game because I can't remember how to make it. So when you click on a square, it does something, and I needed to look it up. I can't remember how to do anything unless I like double check. So I put a lot of comments in my code. Jesus Christ, this is taking so long. I put a lot of comments in my code because I can't remember anything. So hopefully I commented this, and if I didn't, I will comment. I wonder if I can open this up while it's doing it, because we do need to look at that immediately. This other game is like a cult taking over. What if a cult was, if you were in a cult and you were trying to take over? Oh, it doesn't like that. OBS didn't like me moving that around at all. What if you were in a cult trying to take over Portland, Oregon? That's where I'm at. And so it has similar things, but it's more of a real-time strategy in the kind of like Total War. And that's how I know that. So each project that I've started has been less complicated because each time I try, I'm like, holy shit, this is, well, what are we doing here? This is harder than I thought. Anyways, we don't need to look at this. We need to find, I also do something, we'll get to this controller thing. I'm just gonna pull up this code choices button. I gotta find it for when you no, that's something else. Scene load, skill check, select province has probably got what we want. Eye pointer, click handler, yeah, we need that. Oh man, I can't remember how to do this. Well, we'll need that definitely. And there should be another one for select player. Oh, it's right next to it. Select player token here. Gonna wait all day for this shit to work. Yeah, it didn't like me moving around the Unity panel. And like the other Unity panel just... Did it finish? It finished. Good God. All right. I don't know why Unity always starts like this now, too. It always starts in this weird... It's not full screen. So with the 2D, you always get a lighting system and you always get a main camera. I'm just going to explain what I'm doing, but we're going to work on... we're going to go through each step. I'm just going to explain it, but it's not a tutorial. So this is a basic scene. We're looking at the game. We're going to go to scene here. This is the scene of the game. But if you zoom way out, I guess we don't have a UI yet. When we put a UI out, we'll see it'll put another thing that's the actual screen that the stuff's sitting on. And I'm not that great with the UI. And this game probably should eventually have multiplayer, but we're not going to worry about the multiplayer right now. Right now, what we need is this is our game board basically. And you can see the camera. That's this camera right here. This is lighting. It could be attached to the camera, I think, but it's right here. That's because it's 2D. It needs it. But to start off, we're going to need... The first things we're going to want to do is be clickable provinces. And we're just going to need 2. And I'm just going to make... We're going to do like a... create empty... These are game objects. Provinces, and then inside the provinces, we're going to create 2D... sprite. Do we want to do a sprite here? I don't know if I was using sprites before. Let me look. Good thing I have this other whole game set up. I actually wouldn't have done it if I didn't know what I had done here before. Is it what? I don't know which weird scene this is on. What scene does it think it's doing here? Let's go back to this scene here. We're gonna go to Portland. What are they? What are my provinces in here? Oh, they are sprites. Just gotta remind myself over and over again what everything is. So we're gonna add a 2D sprite, and we'll just make it a square. And then we're going to call this west, and then we're gonna make another one. Control D duplicates. We're gonna call this east, and then we're gonna move this thing somewhere else. We're gonna move this thing somewhere else. So basically, we're gonna have these splat in the center, and we're gonna make it so when we click on, we'll make the west one us. We'll make them different color too. They don't have to be perfect. Position 0 though over here. Wait, that was 2.3 was right there? What is, oh, we probably need to reset this. Yeah, it's not centered. So we need to reset this. Come here. And we can make east here. Z doesn't really matter because this is a 2D game. Z is like, you know, back and forth towards us and away. X and Y is up and down. We can put this at like 0.2. 1.5, and then we'll make west. Actually, that's not how we want to do this. Negative 1.5, negative 1, and then we'll make this positive 1. No, my plan is now, here's the center. I want these to, okay, 0.5. There we go. It's all going to work out. And then we'll make this negative 0.5. And we'll pick some different colors just so that we can just for fun sakes. So there's two different ways that games do this, and I'm pretty sure CK3 does it. Basically, it takes a raycast, which is like a laser from your mouse, and it lasers what the mouse is over. And ours is we're gonna make it return the name of the province. CK3 I think does it by color. So it replies the color of the province, and from there, it gets the information. And that's, so there's two ways to do it. Like I said, I think we're going to do the name way. We can just pick a color down here. I don't know why my color palette is way over there. We'll do like, I got some saved colors from a different thing. We'll do red, and then on this one, we'll do this green. We'll be Christmas colors. I don't want to be Christmas colors. Do we want to be, we'll be this other red? No, that's too similar. We could pick some random color, but I was hoping to be able to use one of these. Oh god, that's an eye blister. White. Fuck it, we'll just be white. White and red. And then if we look in the game, that's just it. And these are gonna be, we're gonna be able to click on this though. But they're gonna do different things. So the first thing we want to do here is we have in our project, we have seen, we're not gonna do any graphic shit right now. We're gonna rename this F2 renames. We're gonna rename it to, we'll just call it main right now. This is probably, we'll do world map actually. World map. And I don't put scene at the end because it's a fucking scene. These settings those we don't ever have to mess with. And the other thing I like to also do is go down to build settings. Actually, I'm lying. We're gonna go to project settings, and we're going, so this is, it bugs out right now. It wants you, like Unity really wants you to connect to their online service. That would be a negative thing about Unity. Well, I don't want that to do that. I think it's under player is what we want. Yeah, we're gonna change this to Lord Haywire's shitty games. And the reason, no, version 1.0 0.01. The reason why we want to go to that is because if we go to app data, it's going to, in the local low here, it's going to create a folder for that. So see, I name these differently. And so I'm naming them all this now, Lord Haywire's shitty games. And it's going to create a folder, and it's also going to put in this folder, if we do anything on the disk, it's going to every time you run it, it's going to create this folder, regardless of what you do. So we want to make this all consistent to where you want to save it. And this will work supposedly if you compile for like Macs or dedicated servers or whatever. Supposedly. I've only compiled for, what's your problem? It's giving me an error for some reason. Underscore each segment. Can I clear this error? Whoops. Can I clear this error? Yeah, I can. All right. Back to this thing. What was I saying? So supposedly this will work for all these, and I installed all the different, not all of them, but almost all of the different things just in case. Universal. So these options are there for compiling. When you install Unity, it asks you what you want, so I just say fucking install everything. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll just make an Android-only game at some point. The options are there without me having to fuck with it. And you can also, sir, you know how I complain when I'm streaming video games and I see an icon for a video game, especially if it's made in Unity and it doesn't have an actual icon of its own? I complain because it's so easy in Unity just to put it right there, and that will make this icon this thing. Right now we don't have one, so it'll just be the Unity icon. And we're not going to actually finish any games today. We're just going to fuck around, you know. We're 20 minutes in and we haven't done anything. Now we made 2 squares. So anyways, I like to do that. I like to set that up just because, so that I'm not having all these other folders. And there's a default folder too in here somewhere. Default company, yeah. So these are all these other things. And like these are like, you know, this is like a tutorial I downloaded or something, and it just automatically creates all this shit. Here's one that I just called New Unity Project, you know. So I like to make my own so that it's not filling in with its default company crap. I should probably delete it. Let's see, there's one called Dumb Shit. So anyways, back to what we're doing here. We want to make this clickable so we're going to break this down to the smallest thing. We have 2 provinces now, and the reason why we only need 2 is because we need 1 for us and 1 for the enemy. And we want to be able to click on this province and click on this province and have them do different stuff. And the first thing we're gonna like I said, we're gonna break this down as simple as possible. The first thing we're gonna want to do is create a new folder here though for scripts, and then we're gonna create a new script, and it's gonna be a C# script, and this one is going to be, what did I select? Well, no spaces, provinces. Selected provinces? Oh, well, I already fucked something up. And I'm actually going to do like I did in that other one, is I'm going to put some dashes in here. The fuck, man. Unity is always recompiling stuff, and you can change when it does that. And I also, but it's, what do we did, 3 per side. We're going to make this bigger. I'm not quite sure why there's this big gap over here this time. It didn't used to be this big of a gap. I mean, it's so that you can hide certain elements, but whatever. So we got our provinces. We're going to do east and west. They currently have nothing except for a color. We're going to have also something that I always create called, well, we'll do it later. So selected provinces, select province is what I want this to be called. And so this is going to be the first major issue here. Select provinces? No, it should be select province. I like to rename shit all the time, which is bad. Don't rename shit all the time. And we'll see, you'll see what my issue is right off the bat here. So it's going to put this here. It's going to automatically create this, and it's going to create it from what I originally called it. And now this game is broken. It will not work. It will not work because I did that. Everything is broken. Select province. It won't compile. It's just completely broken because these are called something different, and it will bug out sometimes and tell you that that's the issue. But other times it won't do that at all. It will just let you suffer, and you don't know what the fuck's going on. Anyways, so the first thing we're going to want to do, see now this is gone because I renamed it again. Don't rename stuff, but I'm going to rename like thousands of things while we do this. I just love renaming stuff. I don't know what the deal is. So I copied over that name because just in case I had a typo that I haven't noticed, I'm going to paste it in here, and now it has the same thing. I don't like this shit up here. I don't like it. We're also going to use the new Unity. Oh, we're going to do one other thing here. We're going to create a Git repository. This is a way to back up your code just in case your computer implodes or something. And we're going to make this one public. To Unity, yep. The ignore is, we want to change this ignore to Unity. So this is a list of files it's going to ignore. Oh, I meant to look up a license for this, but I forgot to. I think the MIT license is good. I can't remember. Maybe I'll change it later. I always add a README. You can re-enter your credentials. Owner is going to be me. Repository name, perfect. Description, we don't need it. It's not going to be private. I'll make it public. We're going to create and push, and then it's going to do something. And then you got to put something in here. Oh, I guess it did it automatically. No, we got to. No, what? What are you doing? Can I just push this and we'll find out? All right, so we got a new repository created, so it's got everything we want. this shit that we just created is going to be in there, all of our Unity stuff. I guess we could look at it just to make sure. A lot of times I'll click this button just for it to pull up my GitHub. So there it is. There's the new repository. It just added all the shit that we got from it created a README. I use the README sometimes as a notes page because my memory is terrible, and so I need to like notes all the time. So the other thing I want to do too, though, is I think it's this link a project, new project. This is like the Trello. If I remember how this is, yeah, this is like a Trello. I use it in another one. Which one is it linked to, though? I want to link it to import repository. I have to type this shit in. Public. I haven't done this in a long time either. No, I want to go, maybe it's here. No, it's here somewhere. What's this thing called? Go back to here out of laziness. I'm very lazy. That's the key to everything here. Laziness. What is this one called? Wish that little public wasn't there. Notepad. I don't think I did this right. I want to... No, I'm doing this wrong. There's a way to link these projects to... Not here. Your current... I just haven't done it in a long time. Because like I said, this is going to be like a Trello. And I have it on another project. Projects 1. It acts like it's in here. Let's look at my other thing just so I can compare. Where's my other repository? Projects. Yeah, I guess it just sits in there. I thought I had to link it for some reason. We'll call it this. And there's a view. You can change the view to like a board. Here we go. And so I like to add things in here. It's down here. To inspire me. Not only do I forget the things I need to do, but I also like to put in items, like each little item, so that I'm like, oh, this needs to get done, but also it's like I've accomplished this, So we're gonna do clickable square. We're gonna call it a province though. Clickable province, and this is a draft. You actually have to convert it to an issue. And oh, here's where it's asking me. I thought it would, huh? And we're gonna put it in progress. Bam. Once we can get a clickable province, we'll be stoked. It's in progress. That's all we got right now. We're so happy about that. Now back to the other thing we were working on. I'm always all over the place, and I get sidetracked. We might need this later. I get sidetracked sometimes. Like I'll get a bug, and I'll be trying to like finish something, and I can't because I'm like debugging. I like to make sure everything is not buggy. Okay, here we go. On pointer click. I can't remember how to do this, but here it is, right here. Here we go. If event data. So this is basic. This is how we do this. I just had to look at my other code to be reminded. So this is what we want. We don't want this update shit. We don't want this start shit. We're gonna do. We got to put this I pointer thing over here. So this is a mono behavior, but it also has I pointer click handler. Something's wrong here. Handler. I pointer click handler. We got all sorts of typos in here, and that'd be one issue. I pointer click handler. And then if you hold down Alt and hit Enter, it's going to tell you what you're missing there. And I am missing Unity Systems. So now this thing should go away. It did not. Oh, I got to do the... You also can have it create a thing for you with the same Alt Enter thing. So I use Alt Enter all the time. So it was giving me an error because it's like you have to have this on pointer click thing. And so if you use Alt Enter, it will tell you what you are. It will create what you're missing. And so basically right now it's just creating a thing that says it's just an empty thing that's making the error go away. I also have this thing turned off down here because I've been getting these ever since so this is another issue with being on the cutting edge of Unity. I'm getting these weird errors that I never used to get. There are these weird warnings from Unity. It's just it's busted. They'll fix it, I hope, eventually. Currently, when I Google this issue, that no one knows what the fuck. Like one guy has had an issue. You just gotta wait. And so that's the other issue that I find with Unity is the tutorials can become outdated really quick. Oh, I forgot. We're gonna use the new input system because fuck that old shit. But I gotta remember how to install the new input system. I don't think I have to actually install it, but let's see. We'll go to packages first just in case. And so in packages is how you get packages for Unity. We're gonna go to Unity register. We're going to look input. Do I have to install this? Oh, I do. New input system. So we're going to install this new input system because why use the old shit? Like I keep saying. So the input system tutorials is the first thing I encountered where it was just a fucking clusterfuck of trying to find how they worked. And they're really easy to use, the new one. The old one is still also really easy to use, but trying to use them together, and you can, because why? I don't know. It is such and so this is where I'm talking about this is the cutting edge of stuff. You want to be like just fuck it, man. Why learn the old shit when it's gonna be outdated and they're gonna make it not work someday? Just use the new shit. So it took me a while to get the new shit to work. And Sam Yam is her name. She has some good tutorials on it. One Wheel Studio is another guy that I think I don't know if he has input system tutorials, but I remember Sam Yams I copied her code for the new input system. I'm pretty sure this thing's gonna restart. This is the Colt one, which we're just gonna use that for reference. Right now, we're gonna chill out and wait patiently. This little thing's going. It's got to restart. Luckily, the first time is only the really, really slow time. I should probably put my stats back up to make sure I'm not lagged out for some fucking reason. Some bullshit reason. The other thing, and it hasn't happened yet, I haven't noticed it at least. It will happen eventually. Unity implodes my computer when at some point, it will make all the text, like in the file system and stuff, extremely tiny. Extremely tiny. All right, so we're back here to, because we got, what is this shit? All right, great. What we're back to here is, see, I've changed a bunch of settings and stuff, so it's already updating. So I like this open too to make sure, I'm doing stuff. I gotta have positive reinforcement or I'm never gonna do anything. And that's the other thing, you see all these half-started games on my list here on the hub. It's because I have a low attention span. Same with when I stream video games. I always talk about how I lose interest and everything. Anyways, so what we need here is we're going to copy over. So on printer, on printer click, we already have that there. And it looks like how this works is we can have a left click and it wants us to do something, and we can have a right click. Right click, we're not going to have it do anything, but I'm going to put it in there anyways. How did I do that on this one? We can look at this here. I moved this over here, but I guess so. I'm just copying. So this is like a left click. It's bringing up all of this shit. Oh yeah, I'm remembering how to. All of this is coming back. We're gonna make this somewhat similar, not as complicated. And see, this is another thing I do. I just comment out a bunch of shit. Yeah. There should be an else statement in here somewhere, but I guess I didn't do that. That's fine. Who gives a shit, right? We're gonna make this right click. And then I like to test everything all the time, like literally just constantly. So I'm just going to have this go to the debug log. Like that's all it's going to do. So like I said, I break everything down to the simplest the simplest possible things, and then I test it, because if the more, when I write a big thing of code and try to test it, it's impossible to try to figure out what I fucked up. So we have that code done, but it's not attached to anything yet. It has to be attached to something. It can't be just sitting in this folder down here. And we're going to close this thing. And we're going to put a new thing. I always create something that I call controller that controls everything up here. I'm not sure that that is the best way to do it, but that's the way I do it. We're going to put this script on here, and we're going to make sure it's stuck, because sometimes it doesn't. So right now when we hit play, this thing did this weird bullshit again. Right now when we hit play, it should just print something to the console when I start clicking the button. So I'm going to hit play. Nothing else should happen. We're going to wait, because we got to wait. I'm going to left click. All right, see, something's broken. I didn't do it right. I don't know what I did wrong, but something's broken. See, I'm clicking and nothing's happening. We probably have to put a thing in the input system. We have to tell it, which is, we're gonna put here. I have to look where this thing is. Is it down here? I can't remember anything. It is called. Where do I put that? We're not gonna do scriptable objects. I don't think we need them. Why does this think that there's a scene? I'm gonna fix this bug real quick. What is it talking about? What are you talking about, console? Where's my console? Restore last open scene? Get out of there. What are we doing? We gotta put we did that. We gotta put a thing. I can't remember what it's called, but it's here somewhere. I have it stashed in here somewhere, and then I will remember what it's called. I feel like it should be in, here we go, under input settings. That sounds like a good idea. UI controls, camera controls. I don't feel like I needed 2 of these, did I? No, I don't. We don't want to look at the scripts. We want to look at this thing. Move camera, we don't need that. UI controls, left click, right click. This is terribly named. This isn't a UI control. I guess it is a UI control. All right, so we need to add this to our thing, not my thing. We'll put input settings. Sure, we'll do another folder. I like to also break all my shit down. Input settings. And we're going to create a new one, but I can't remember how to create a new one. So it's probably, I wonder if I can just input actions. There we go. New controls. This will be map controls, I think I'm going to call it. We can rename that later. Once again, don't rename anything. So there's a button up here. Let me move this down so I can see chat. Again, there's a button over here that generate class. You want to click that button. It blows my mind that that's not default clicked. So it will generate the code for you if you have that clicked. Otherwise, you got to write the code yourself. And we're lazy fuckers. At least I'm a lazy fucker. So we need that to be created, you know, for us. We don't want to write that big pile of garbage. So we're gonna go open this up again, and just so I can make these the same. So we're gonna do a mouse. We can do this plus button here, and we're going to call this mouse, and then we're going to do a new action, and the new action is going to be left click, and we got to call it the same as what we called it before, if I remember correctly. And then we're going to do this new binding. I'm going to make sure that these are the same though, so I'm just going to I can't look at them both on the same screen. I was going to try to make it so that you could see what I was doing as well. Come back here. So I'm just going to make it look the same as this other one that I did a long time ago. My memory is fucking shot, man. Press. We want the action to be action type. Wait, this needs to be set as something else. This needs to be a button. We want the interaction to be on, what? Press. And then we want it to be on release only. And the reason why we're doing release only is because if you go to a website and you click on something it doesn't actually do anything until you release it. And if like on this, I can drag this whole thing, this whole thing around. So that's what we want it to be like. We want it to be on release, not on press. And then is there any bindings that I have on here? Oh, I do. And of course I do. Then we want to bind this to mouse left button. And so that now we have the mouse working with the new input system. It's that easy, and it's the old way is pretty easy too. And then we're gonna just do a new action, and we're gonna do this right click, and we don't want to have any typos because I'm pretty sure it has to be the same. We'll do button, and we're gonna do press, and we're gonna do release only, and I don't know what these input settings are. Who knows? We'll just ignore that shit, and we're gonna make this a right button mouse. What did this interaction say? Nothing. I'm going to double check. I'm going to compare it again to my other, everything is either black or blue down here, to my other game. I don't know, is it a game? If it doesn't work, it works. It works. Oh yeah, I also have a position over here. We might use that later. So I have here, I'll bring this over here. I also have this setups to show the position of the mouse. So that we might use that later for like hovering over for like tool tips and stuff. That's way down the line though, and we want to keep it as simple as fucking possible right now. But so we're gonna keep just left click and right click. I thought I turned autosave on, but I guess I didn't. Maybe we don't want autosave. The autosave isn't on the other one. Oh, we probably don't, so it doesn't compile every time. But we definitely want to save this shit. So when you save it, it regenerates this class. You can look at this class. It's just some big pile of garbage that doesn't make any sense to me because I'm a noob. Whoops, turn off there. No, that was what we want. So now we have map controls. This may work just how it is. I'm not sure. Closing this down. Closing this down. Want my shit back over here. We need the console. It's still not working. I gotta remember. My memory must come back. We probably need, let's think. What do we got? We don't need this open. Camera controls. No, we don't need that. What do we got in select? This is all one thing. Eye pointer clicker. Part of this whole thing is going to be me reminding me of how things work. Controller. Do we have our script here open? And it's the only script we got. All we're trying to do is pointer event data. This is a left click. This is a right click. That's all we're trying to do is print to the console when we click. So what am I doing wrong? This is half of my programming. I can't remember the steps. Let's try it one more time. Who knows? Maybe I just didn't click enough. I'm making fun of myself. But we'll do it anyways. Console, it should show down here as well. And this should just work anywhere, but I guess it's not. You know what we don't have, though? This is the reason it's not working. We don't have anything for the raycast to hit. That's why it's not working. What happens if we put this? So it's basically it's sending out a laser, and the laser can't hit anything right now. There's nothing to hit. So let's look at do I have a select provinces on there? Oh, maybe I have to move that over. Maybe I have to have it on each. I can't remember. Remove component. On my other game, I have it over here. Let's see what happens. I probably have to have it on both, on each province. Whoops. I have it there. It still doesn't work. I knew I shouldn't have streamed this. Okay, this has select province on here. Do I need a unlit? I have a collider on here for some reason. I wonder why I have a collider on there. Oh, I know I have a collider on there. Does this work on this game? This is an older. Let's see here. The reason it's all red is I changed the color so I could remember when I was in play. Maybe my input things are still fucked up. Oh, I maybe have to add them in a different spot. Now this works over here. Okay, so there's something I'm doing wrong over on this side, and I just can't remember. I don't remember the steps. So the controller, event system, I don't think I have to, oh, I do have to put stuff in the event system. Forgot about that. We don't have an event system set up yet. This looks like I added it. Can I just drag this in? I didn't think I needed this event system. Left click, UI click. UI clicking is really easy to do, and I actually thought about maybe just making the whole thing in the UI because it's basically very UI centric. Middle click, right click. I don't remember having to do this, but I bet you I do need to have the input system appears automatically when you create the UI. So let's put a UI thing. We'll just do a UI text. Import these things. We want text mesh stuff. I think it's I needed the event system. And we don't need the examples. We're going to put the canvas. Where is this? We want this above. Right now it's nothing. We just want this up here. We actually want this up here. And yeah, replace with inputs. And now I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling confident. Maybe I shouldn't be. No, I shouldn't be feeling confident. Just ignore that text there. Except we don't want to click on it. It's that I shouldn't be feeling confident. I knew I shouldn't have done this. Scene. Get this scene, this text out of here. We just turn this off. So now this other big thing. Whoa, I didn't want to move it. This other big thing, this is the UI. If we were working on the UI, this gigantic thing would be what we would be working on. But right now, this little tiny thing is what we're going to keep doing for now. We're going to turn this canvas back off. And why doesn't my clicking system work? We got one. Just comparing. I knew I was going to have to compare some stuff, but I remember this being so easy. Left click, an event. This is just all junk. Right click. And I was like, it's so easy. And now I can't remember how to do it. If event data button is equal, let's look at this again. Maybe I typoed something. Left, right. Input button, right. Input button, left. Those aren't spelled the same as the other thing. On pointer, click. Select province. What am I missing? It should be like literally so simple. Let's put this on this other one just in case. I mean, I don't think they need to be used. I mean, that's not my issue, but I get it has a collider, but I don't remember having to. Maybe I have to have a collider on there because it is a raycast. I don't remember having to have a collider, but man, like I said, my memory is crap. So we can do a collider on here and see if that 2D box collider. And we're going to make sure this is the right size. It is, and then we'll hit play. I did have this huge issue. So like I said, it's really easy to set up clicking on the UI. It's not so easy. It's a little more difficult. It shouldn't be this difficult. I just can't remember how to do it. It's not the collider. What am I missing? I probably have some crazy shit somewhere. We don't want to look at that one. On pointer. Please select a token. Province equals province name. We're going to take some stuff out of this later, but it isn't. This is for. So I try to never put anything in update. This is for later on if we can't figure out why this isn't working. We're gonna use that. We'll use part of that code. This is called debugging, isn't it fun? I actually don't mind debugging stuff because I often find easier ways to. Okay, so we're missing this. No? I just made it different. I made it less shitty looking on this one. On pointer click, maybe, you know what I bet you I gotta do? Go back to here. There's a place under player, project settings, input system. This is where you can configure, please consider using the new IAM. I want an input system. I forget where I changed this. This is the thing, I think. Create settings, set this new input systems are settings are stored in an asset. Click the button below to create a settings asset you can edit. I don't think I want to do that. Why is this one telling me for example, Q will be the key to the right. What does this one say? What does the Colt say? It says under project settings. Oh, it's got some issue. Look at these are different. This one's got a real. Wonder why that one's upset. We go to, where was that event system? Inputs. And I was like, man, it's so easy. Where's my input over here? Event system, drag threshold. These are all the same. Deselect on background. Actions, defaults. I actually didn't think I had to use this part anymore. This part. Cursor lock, outside screen, track orientation. These are all the same. What else is on what I'm looking at here is I'm just looking at these. I'm comparing. So this is the same thing. We don't need all this other crap though. Eventually, look, there's nothing in there. That's a, there's a bug right there. Maybe we need a sprite renderer? I feel like that's dumb. I think it should have one, right? Yeah, you have one. Default layer, light layer. I do remember I had to fuck around with this for a while. We get this out of the way. I can't get this out of the way. Well, let me move it. Why won't you let me move this over? You can't see what I'm doing, but whatever. Okay, up here. I do remember I had to fuck around for this to get this to work. So we have a layer called obstacle here, huh? Are we clicking only on obstacles? What is this other? Are they all that? They are. Is the player tokens an obstacle? He's a default. He's got a tag called player. He has a rigid body AI path. Like, man, I should have reminded myself, like I said, of how I was doing this stuff. There's like pathing and stuff in this game, or in this one. Select player token is on here. Nothing special about it. Skill check, idle, gain focus. So the only thing, this one has a rigid body. I wonder, well, we already saw that. Is the left clicking still working on? There's a step I'm missing. I just don't know what the step is. Just want to see. Can we click on player tokens still? The player tokens still work. Oh, that's not a player token. Oh, that did I ever make that? I guess not. This still works. So what did I do differently, Escape? I have a confiner. When I was talking about that in that other video game that was made in Unity, I was like, I could like turn a confiner on your. When I was streaming that game, the reason I was saying that is because I knew that it only took 5 minutes to get that confiner on there because I'd done it before. Maybe we have some weird screen overlays. No, these are all the canvas. Oh, we need a graphics raycaster. Is that what it is? Do we have that on our, we have physics 2D raycaster. We might need the raycaster. Let's see if that's what it is. I don't think it comes from the camera though. It should come from the mouse. What do we got on here? We'll figure it out. Ray, we need a physics 2D raycaster. No, not on the light. I want this on the main map here. Ray, not a ratcaster. Physics 2D raycaster. Do I really need that? It literally took me like 10 hours to get this shit to work originally. It's like a common issue. Uh, okay, that's what I needed. So that's what we were missing was this raycaster. So that was it. That was the thing. So on the camera, why do you stick it on the camera? Because we only care about where we're clicking when where the camera is. Good God. When I originally was doing that for this other game, the cult game, there's like thousands of posts about how this clicking doesn't work, and it took me forever to figure out how to this work. But with the new, yeah, you just need this raycaster on here. So that is what's going on. Right click isn't working. Oh no, it is working. It's just, oh, I have this collapsed is why. Uh, oh, right click doesn't work on here. Works on here. Didn't I stick this on here? It doesn't work on there. Oh, because I have like a. Okay, so one of these things. So this is it's called debugging. So this is why how long I've been streaming, an hour to do this two thing. That's why I said it's going to take you 5 years to finish your game. All right, so one of these things we need a box collider on here, and so we need the raycaster and a box collider. So if we compare this, let's make sure this box collider looks the right size. I don't see your box collider. Oh, we're looking at the wrong spot. Box collider. Okay. Let's try this again. I'm going to take a quick break after that, now that we've accomplished everything. So that's one of the things. So when I think about like, so we left clicked on that one. I'm going to right click on this one. I'm going to left click on this one. I'm going to right click on this one. Let's right click on this one. Right click on this one. Left click. All right. So this works now. Whew. We've accomplished it. The game has been finished. It's a strategy game where we click on things. I'm going to take a quick break. But when I don't know what I was talking about. I'll be right back. I'm going to throw up my break timer. Um, I feel like embarrassed. I blushed through part of that because I was like, I can't believe I don't remember how to do this. But it's just how it is. Oh, we don't want to look at that one. We don't want to give people false hopes. That's just programming. Oh, what I was gonna say here, I'm gonna turn on my break timer real quick. Uh, so this is like why professionals get paid so well. Like I can figure out how to do stuff, but it took me an hour to get us to be able to click twice. Click on two different squares. A professional would have been able to do that in 5 minutes, like literally. And so when I see, and also there's like things I just don't know how to do because I've never encountered them. I just figured out how to do getter setters yesterday. They're called properties, I guess, in Unity and C Sharp. Um, so it took me like hours to figure out how to get why I needed those and how they work, and we'll probably use them a lot in this, but I never knew they existed until like a week ago. And so like the fact that you just know something exists, like the original time to get this thing that we got to work right here to work was hours. It was probably like 10 hours of work. And I know you're like, how did it take you so long? Because I had to like Google this shit and Google and Google and Google. Anyways, I'll be back in less than 5 minutes. All right, I'm back. I'm gonna turn off my brake timer. What was I thinking about? Oh, when I was outside, I was thinking, you know what? What happens if we don't have this this thing? Let's just no, not. Let's delete it and let's delete the event system. See if it still works. I'm just curious more than anything else. If it doesn't uh, if it does work, yeah. So we do need the event system in there. That's easy to recreate though. We just do a UI text and it automatically pops that thing out. We'll just make this go away for right now. Actually, yeah, we'll make that go away for right now, and we'll put the event system back up here. Like I put the things I don't fuck with uh, very frequently up at the top, like the camera. We'll mess with it. We'll use Cinemachines or whatever it's called to make sure that to move the camera around later, because we're gonna have a giant map. This is like a tiny little map, but we're gonna make a giant map. The gameplay area might expand. We'll see. That's how the camera works. Basically, we'll move the camera around, and we could move the camera around right now. I'm on the wrong thing though, and you know, so the map may get giant, but we don't really need it to. Right now, we'll just leave the camera there. The lighting has to be there in the event system, and it turns out it has to be there. We got the controller, which we don't actually need right now, so I'm going to delete. Well, we'll probably need it in a second. So after we click something, what do we want it to do? Currently, it's just saying this shit down here. We want to say the name of the provinces, and this is where things are going to get a little complicated, a little more complicated. And it looks like, so each one of these has to have the select province script on it, which we have on there. And it looks like they each have to have a collider, which is weird, but all right. We're not really going to use the colliders besides that for where we're clicking. This game is going to be pretty simple, just like CK3 is very simple. Okay, so we want it right now. The next thing we want it to do is, and what we'll do is we'll actually use this canvas. We're going to turn this canvas on, and it says that we have in this canvas, it just has text. We're going to change, when we click on this, it's going to tell us the name of this province, which it's currently west and east. We're gonna do something here to make that happen. So that we'll probably use it. We'll probably use the controller. Well, no. Do we want to use it? No, we'll use this thing here still. It's still open over here. So the first thing we're going to need is some variables of what we're dealing with. We're going to need, I always do serialized fields. We want everything to be private if possible. Private, and this is going to be name. Oh, we need a text mesh pro UGUI, and we're going to call it name of, we're going to do province name, and but I always like to put text at the end if I'm doing a text thing. I like to have my variables there's a PDF in there? Okay. I like to have my text, my variable names very descriptive. So we're going to have this text box, which is going to be this text box right here. Oh, it's got to recompile. Every time we do anything, it's got to recompile. And I just save all the time. So we're gonna put the name. This is what's gonna be changed here, is the name, and we are gonna need another script. So we're gonna change this to the name. So if we look at the game, we've lost everything. Did I reset the camera to the right spot? It is the right spot. What is going on here? Hit play. Because I fucked around with stuff, things broke. Yeah, we lost something here. My camera's in the wrong spot. Go to the camera. It says it's in the center. Oh, did I change the size of it? Let's go back to order 0. That's fine. This is the order that the camera is looking at. I don't know what I did to fuck this up. We can see the text. Go back to the camera and move it around until we find what we lost. I moved something somehow. This could have been perspective. No. No. We don't want that. We want orthographic. What did I do? I just added in the vent system. I deleted that and I deleted the canvas. What happens if I turn the canvas off? That's not going to help us. I reset the camera is one thing I did. Why doesn't it show this thing? Let's change the order to 1. Oh, these have a Z now for some reason. Well, that one does. Let's go order 1. What the fuck happened? Oh, its position is weird. No? What was its... I reset it. I wonder if I can... Oh, man, that's so far back, though. I was like, I wonder if I can Control Z myself back to... there. Maybe. Something... I changed something on the camera is what happened. I don't know what it was. There it is. Okay, so the camera was -10Z was the issue. So I should have just put 0 here and 0 there. Well, now we have to figure out what else I just changed. I think I was just clicking around. Let's hit play and make sure that I didn't fuck anything else up. Jesus Christ. Programming with Josh Cook. It's always bad. All right, everything's fine. So anyways, what were we doing? As I said, I'm a beginner. So basically, we have this here. This needs to be recompiled because it doesn't know that because I controlled Z back. We want this text to change. We're gonna go back to here. Do I still have the text thing? I do. To just the name of the province, and the province currently is East and West, but we're gonna make it so that we're gonna have a script that basically loads a list, and then it's gonna check the list is gonna be connected to the list is gonna be connected to the select province thing, and it's gonna know the names from there. But we want it to load on the controller, so we're gonna add a new script to here, and you can do it this way. You can go to well, it was right there, script, and we're gonna call this controller for now. Controller. Like I said, you're gonna see me renaming shit. Oh, that's the issue with starting it up there, though. It sticks it in some weird spot, and you have to move the script around to where you want it to be. It sticks it just in the root folder here, which is not where I want it to be. We want it to be in scripts, and we're gonna pop this puppy open, and we're gonna get rid of this crap. And I think we need system collections because we're going to do a list. And the list is going to have the name of all of the provinces that we ever use, and currently that's just going to be 2. And we're also going to need another thing called a public class, and I usually make a folder for these things. Public classes, and we're going to create a new script with this is going to be province, and then we're going to open this guy up, and we're going to create a list in here. We're going to get rid of this shit, and we're going to get rid of this thing because it's a public class, so it's just like a thing. It's just like this thing that sits there in the background. It's not attached to anything. And then we're going to call this, we're going to need a public. Everything has to be public in here because it's a list. Public, at least I think that's the case. Public string, and we're gonna go province name, and then we're gonna do. I can never remember how these look until I compare it to another one. I never can remember. Like, I literally can create a list and then have to create a new list 10 seconds later and have to go in here. So let's see. I have public classes over here. All I need is, what is this one? Oh, here's a province one here. So we need a public class. Then we need it to say underneath it. We need it to say public province, public province. Oh, we're doing this exactly the same as this other one. Then we're gonna do a string, new province. And I've seen people do this different ways, and I don't know what the correct way is. So if somebody knows, tell me. With how they name stuff. So I've seen some, like over here, I have this giant list uh, where it's always new. This equals that, and then I've seen other ones where they do like it's a capital letter or it's whatever. So I don't know how. Like I often try to always use whatever. Whoops, this should be province name here. I try to use the correct syntax and everything, but I don't know what that is most of the time. So we currently have it. This is all we need in our list right now. It should be a dictionary, not a list. Now that I think about it, do we want it in a dictionary? Yeah, I think it'll be easier as a dictionary. I can't remember how to make a dictionary. Let's see. Is this a dictionary or a? It will all come back to me. I'm looking for a particular script here. We don't need that one. I thought I had it open, but I guess not. We need this loading script. So I like to put a script that loads right at the start all of the shit we need. And it will tell me it's this one. I don't know why this is a UI one. Oh no, that's a different one. It's not that one. It is scene load, not the UI scene load. How do we make a dictionary? I can't remember. This will have a dictionary in it though. Areas, province name, that's I think it's gonna be easier as a dictionary. Let me think. So the list, you gotta reference it by number. So it'd be like, province 0. But with the dictionary, we could say province west. So yes, we want it to be a dictionary. And this looks weird, but this is a dictionary right here. Oh, well, I'm saying it's a list here, though. These are all you might see like tons of comments on stuff. That's how I just comment the shit out of everything. Did I make this into a list? No, this is a dictionary. Sets up a dictionary of each province. This is what I want. Provinces, new list. Oh, you really have to do the new list every time for. Oh, is this a list of provinces? Is this a dictionary of lists? I think this is. I don't remember. Okay, here we go. Public static. Oh, I did do a dictionary of lists. But this solves my issue for right now. Does it solve my issue for right now? I'm thinking. Public static dictionary string list province called provinces. This list is provinces. The string is the name of the dictionary. Oh, this is a good way to do it. Let me compliment myself. So the string is the name of the dictionary and the list is the list. So that's fine. This is how we'll do it. We'll go back over to here and we'll still use that same thing we used before. We'll still use this. This is going to expand. This is going to grow in size, but right now we just need the province name. That's the first thing we need. So we're going to go from here. We're going to go back to controller. What did I call this? I called this controller. I actually don't like that name anymore. Like I said, I like to rename everything. I'm going to call this, what did I call this scene? I don't remember. I called this scene world map. So we're gonna call this world map load. And this is going to be for when you hit start on the game or the game starts after you compiled it, it's going to load. It's going to do this stuff first. It's always going to do that first. And we're going to rename this script that I just called controller down here. And I don't. You're probably not supposed to do it this way, but this is the way I do it. Like I keep saying. And then I just need to wait for this thing to get its shit together. Okay. So the first thing we want to do on this world map load is we need to create this dictionary, which we were just looking at over here. I can actually just copy this over from my other thing, and we'll put it right here. So the first thing it's going to do is it's going to pull in a string. So this initializes. So when this is used, it's going to, it really doesn't use collections. I feel like it should. It's going to initialize this thing called provinces. And in the string, if I'm remembering how this works, dictionary of the province text with a list inside, each with area. Dictionary of the province text. I wonder why this is written this way. Province text. Why is this written this way? Is this comment correct? So I put notes in my comments of my comments so that I later when I'm working on this one I'll see that and be like, what the fuck does this do? So we want, and I think that comment is wrong. So I'm using this and we'll probably do this as well. We might as well do it right. No, we'll do it sloppy right now and then we'll change it to this. So I use a whole nother program or a whole nother public class that has all of my text in it. So there should be no text in the game. Like if we look through all this, besides debug log stuff, there should be no text. It should all be pulling all of the text from this other file. And the reason why I do that is so that it will be easier later. Right now we're just going to do it sloppy, then we'll change it. But so this says sets up a dictionary of each province with this thing, so that's fine. With the list inside is going to have the name. This has all sorts of shit in it, but we don't need that. And you can hover over this and it will tell you. New percentage explorer, new is player home. So we actually don't need the name if we're going to name it. If we're going to name it the name of the province, we don't need the name. What is this thing? Let's look at this province text thing just to make sure I'm looking at this correctly. Province text. Yeah, these are just the names of these places. What did I call this whole colors? No. What did I call this? All text. That makes sense. All right. So on awake, I guess I could have just left that there. Awake, we want it to public static. Is that right? It's been a long time since I made a dictionary. I can just look up how to make a dictionary real quick. It's a dictionary of a list though, which is different. All text, we don't need to open. What does this say? Province name. So we need to tell it. Oh, I called this provinces? What did I call this thing? Provinces. Okay. It shouldn't. No, it's fine. Should it be? So the public class is just the province. Yes, it's not a list of provinces. It's just a province. So this should be provinces. We're gonna say, well, like I said, we're gonna do sloppy. This is gonna be west. I think it has to be that equals. Oh, this is making a list though. New. Oh, it's because it's the list in there. New province. And then we're making this almost exactly. Whoops. Why did it do that? I want you to. Am I missing something? Oh, you know why? Because I kind of changed. So that it will tell. Well, let's see what happens when it does. It wants new. I want this to be like this, though. I like my things very specific, exactly how I want them all the same. Then we want new province. And then well, we only have name in there. We'll just throw something temporary. We are going to want a list, a dictionary of lists. We want a dictionary of lists, so we're going to change this actually too, because the name of the dictionary is going to be the name of the. We'll just say this, province ID. We might never use that. Oh, I could have done that an easier way. We can actually do it here. If you hit F2 to change this, you can just write in whatever, and it will change it everywhere to what you want. Province ID. So it's going to rename all of that to the same thing. So I could have done that here too. Province ID. And then we'll go back to here, world map load. We're going to say 1. Let me make sure I'm doing that right. Province 1. And this thing needs a thing behind it though. Oh, did I say that was a string? Is that why it's upset at me? Province. I did. This should be an integer. Yeah, int. And this should be an int. And we'll save that again. We'll go back over here, and now it's happy with this. And then the next list, we're going to do the same thing. I mean, I could put this all on one line, but this is going to be quite large at some point. We actually don't need we don't actually need this yet for what I'm testing. We probably want this to say east as well with a capital. West. We actually don't need this at all for what we're testing. So let's save this real quick. What we need is with selecting product. Just dawned on me, we can do this way easier. With selecting, I just thought of something that I want to check. All right, yeah. We can do exactly what this other script was doing that I wrote forever ago. Select player token. That would work too. Name of the game object is. How do we get the. Man, that's complicated. I wrote some complicated shit there. It's more and more complicated. Let's open up this other thing. What I'm looking at is this. Like there's no. See, this is what we want is the plus the name. Where am I getting this name from? Plus name. The name of the object. Oh, is it that easy? We'll just do this then. No, we want this. No, we want this to say this first. We'll do this. Can we just put name in there? Are you kidding? Okay, it will let us. We don't really actually. We're not going to use right click for a while. So all we want right now is the debug log to play the name. Good God, I was writing all those lists and shit, and it just dawned on me I can do it this much easier. Then we wait patiently. Okay, so that told us west down there, which is what the name of this thing is. And that tells us east down there. Good God. We'll get to all that other shit later. We're gonna also use that list to change the name. So the dictionary list we were just working on, we're gonna use that list to actually apply what the name of this game object is. Whoops, wrong one. But these are all, when I hit play, they should. Gotta wait until this shit does its thing here. So on this other game that I worked on, they should all be renamed to whatever the name. So yeah, so see how they had a 1 in front of them before? They all got renamed because when the script starts. Transform height 500. I wonder what that's for. All right. So this works. So what we're going to do up here is we already have this thing set up. Or what we're going to do is we're going to change the text in there. So province name text dot text, which means we're changing the text in there is going to equal name. And then we're gonna save that and go back and test it. Like I just test over and over and over again, just constantly testing. I want my OBS back up here. I don't know why it keeps going. OBS keeps going away because I'm clicking on the other screen. So if we click on here, and I get kind of tired of looking at the debug log, so I try to eventually everything that I think the player would want to see. Oh, we forgot to put a thing in here. And we're actually at a good point of me explaining why I don't like something. Uh, yeah, so it's really easy to forget the drag. So you have to drag everything over here. So what it's wanting is, well, we would want to turn this on too. And then we're going to make this text nothing. And what it's wanting is for me to drag this over here. And that's fine if you only have to do it occasionally. But I notice that the main issues I have, so I get this bug and it's not a bug, sorry, this error all the time. And it's because I've forgotten to drag something, I've renamed something, etc., etc. I eventually will try to get away to never using these things where we're dragging them over here. We want them to be selected in the script, and we want to, because for some reason it seems to be a huge issue, and I don't know if it's just me, but I hate dragging shit over here. So there it is, west and east. So we're using the UI, and it works how we want it. But now we're to our next step. Um, since the dictionary name, well, what is the next step? The next step is we want to have, so each province is going to we're going to need information for these provinces and they're not going to be squares in the long run. They're going to look like a map, and right now they're squares is fine. We'll make like like I said, we'll put a map of the United States, or not the United States, North America or something in here. And then but that's way later. Right now, like I said, we want it to be as simple as possible. And as simple as possible means 2 squares that we can click on and we can get information, then we can interact with that information. Right now, the first thing we got to do is the name's fine. Getting the name is fine, but we want information. Let's say, it's a 4X game. So in our province thing here, we have a province ID, which we'll probably never use, so we can probably get rid of that later. But a public float, how much population we want in here? Let's do a public int. How big can an int go? That doesn't help. I don't need to look at the int part there. Let me see here. Oh, we accomplished something. Clickable province is done. Now we want to add a new thing. Oh, we can click here. There's a way to do this here. Clickable province. Done. We already know it's done. Done and tested. Boom. Close with comment. We've accomplished our first thing. We're gonna do a new thing. Add basic info to province and show in UI when clicked. This is gonna be kind of a pain in the ass, honestly. I hate working on the UI. It just gets so tedious. It gets so tedious. The UI stuff gets really tedious. I was just thinking about something. So, anyways, the first thing we're gonna say population. And int, how big? Oh, that was where I was going over there. I was going over to find how big an int is. C# int. I hear a cat in the other room. And ints can go to, that's probably a bazillion. A bazillion seems like probably enough. So we can go population. Population. What else do we need to know? Who owns it? Public int. Nation. We want a nation name. And we're gonna need another one. Public ints. All right, these aren't these aren't ints. These are string. Get out of here. this one could be an int. Let's do a string. This is going to be owner name, which right now it's not going to matter that much, but we're going to need that. We're going to use that later. So when you click on it, it's going to be like, hey, are you the owner? Nope. Then do this. And right now we need two items that we need to be able to see. So we're going to do two things or three. We're going to have it do one thing, and we're going to have to do, depending on if you're the owner or not. It's going to say, hey, who's the owner? And if your owner's name is player right now, it's going to show you the nation's name. We'll say the province name and if you're the owner, you'll see the population. If you aren't the owner, it won't show you the population because you don't own that, so you don't get to see it. Then we're going to take this. Like I said, I don't think we need province ID. Maybe we might use it later though. Like we'll number them. What I'm thinking about is this. We go back here and maybe it'd be easier if I threw a map of North America on here, just so we could look at the background. But we're not going to. So we might number them like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it'd be a way to. Yeah, I think we'll use it later from where we're moving troops around. Owner. Wait, we want this to say string new owner name string new nation name. String, new province. Yeah, don't put a space in there. Your whole world's gonna be fucked. And then lastly, we're gonna do an int population. And I think how we're gonna do this is like the population isn't gonna be 100,000. It's gonna be like 100, and then we'll expand from there. Like in your post-apocalyptic world, there'll only be 100. Oh, this is wrong. 100 people living there. Right at the beginning, but then later it's going to get much bigger. And I've always wanted to like, what happens if you accounted for every person there? So we might fuck around with like some weird data shit later. New owner name. What are we at? Nation name equals new nation name. I don't know why it makes me do this, but all of the lists need to have this. And you use the camel or whatever the fuck it's called, camel naming here, and this has the new in front of it. New, we want to make sure that they're pointed at the right thing. Province name. Like, why do I need to put all this shit in here? Why can't I just say this is a goddamn list and it just automatically fills this shit in? Whoops. Population equals new. Someone probably knows. If you know why that it doesn't just automatically generate this stuff for you, tell me. So there's probably you could probably do something in here. Like to make the string convert or something. All right, so now if you look down here, it's like, what are you doing? You can't do that because you have this set up and it only has one thing. So we have to actually put some stuff in there. Oh, but if we put province name, we might not want province name in there because we already have it. I forgot about the dictionary has the province name in the thing. How do I get the dictionary name out though? And I'm going to do something else too. Let's go back to here. I'm going to put the province name in there too. There's probably a better way to do this. We might have to, well, not might have to. We're going to change things as we go. That's why I make it as simple as possible at the beginning. A comma here. Get rid of this comma. I like the order of use here. Province name is more important than owner name. Oh, actually, I guess it isn't. Now we'll put it back the way I had it. I'm just Control-Zing my way back to, all right. And then back to here, we gotta fill this in with information. And this will tell us if we hover over. I'm just gonna take a screenshot so that I don't have to keep hovering over to reference. So we start out with the ID. Owner name is going to be player. The nation name will be players. This is just, nation. This is just test data. And then the province name will be West. I wonder if you can do. I don't know how to do that. How do you get a dictionary's name? C# dictionary name. How to name a dictionary, give names to key values to improve. Well, I guess I don't need to do it, but it would be nice. It would be nice if I didn't have to put. Because the province name is always going to be. I don't think we need province name actually in this list. I tried to make everything as. And I don't want to duplicate it. The reason why I'm really overthinking this is because if I have to change 2 spots, that's just going to lead to errors. It's just going to lead to errors like all the time. So let's get province name out of there. We already know how to get the province name. I know I've been fucking with this for a while. It's just the less data that you have to enter, the better chance of the lesser chance, or the less things that can go wrong, the less things that can go wrong. And we know that the province name is going to be the name of um, the game object. The game object will always be the province name. And that means we just can't fuck up the game object name. What were we doing over here? So we had province name and then new population. We'll just say like 10,000. That comma shouldn't be in there. We'll say 10,000 for this one. And then this has the same issue. It's like, hey, you got to put in some information. We'll call this enemy, comma. Whoa. I don't know what I just hit. Somehow I added something weird in there. I was going for enemy nation, and we'll give them a population of 5,000 just to have some different data that shows up. Why did I put that there? Okay, so now we have 2 dictionaries, one called West, one called East. This is I should have called it like Oceania or whatever. I don't know. What the fuck did I do over here now? I switched to some new. Where's my GitHub? Properties. What is that? I'm big just clicker on things to see what it is, which actually has not paid off very well. Home. What is this solution thing? Get out of here. All right, there we go. I don't know how I got that there. Okay, so we have 2 dictionaries that are going to immediately be created upon waking up. They have the player name, whatnot. We already know how to get the name. So now we're going to, what are we doing? What did that Trello? This is how I program. What did that add basic info to province and show in UI when clicked? Okie dokie. That is not that hard. So we have select province. We don't want all this crap in select province though. We want to have this. We could use this controller script. Didn't I rename this thing? Yeah, I did. We're gonna use a new script here, and we're gonna do this very basicified. We're going to go to. I'm trying to get back to Unity here. We're gonna put a UI up here on the left-hand side. Once again, think like, a paradox game. On the left-hand side, you have all the information of the province you've clicked on. So this is easy. We already have a canvas made with this text, which we don't actually need this text anymore, but we'll leave it there. Nah, we'll get rid of it. And we have this canvas. If we go way out here, this canvas is this giant thing here. And so this should be the same size as basically the screen. We want this to be on screen overlay because it's overlaying the screen, and this is the size of the screen that we're working with. If we go to game, it will show the size of the screen right here. And we can change this around. And we're actually going to want to just like fuck with this occasionally to see how our UI reacts to us fucking with things. Also, if you've ever watched any of my streams, you'll see me complain about clicking through the UI onto stuff. We're going to want to make sure that that doesn't happen. It's a huge bummer when that can happen. But first off, we're not going to have any buttons on the UI at all. All we're going to have is information. So if we click through it, we don't give a fuck. We do have a raycaster on here, which is kind of interesting. It's currently set to block everything, so you shouldn't be able to click through the UI. But back to our scene. So this is just a big empty thing. We have a canvas, which is just the canvas is like literally the canvas that's on this square. So the first thing we're going to want is a panel, and there's a UI panel here. And this panel is much too large. We don't want a panel that covers the whole thing. We'll just make the panel like whatever. How does this look in this game size? That seems quite large, but we'll be fine with it for right now. We're gonna fuck with this shit later. I like this though to be even numbers. You know, I don't like, let's say 1500 is fine. So now we have a panel here that is just, it's going to be opaque like that, which is actually okay. And in this panel though, we're going to call this the province panel. Province panel. And it's going to be a panel that shows the province information. We'll probably actually not want this at the top left corner like that, because at the top, remember, eventually we're gonna have like, you know, think of these games. You got your resources and shit. We're gonna have our name of our country up there, you know. So let's move this down from the top, like -20. What? Plus 20. 20? Does 20 seem enough? Also, you know, it's not. There's a way to make this. Let's do this. We want this. If you hold down Alt, upper left corner. That's not exactly what I wanted. The position, -270, -310. 20 doesn't seem like enough, man. Let's do 50. So -340? What does it look like in the game? That's okay. That's fine. It looks so mushy. I don't know if it looks like that in the thing. It looks mushy. Let's do it like that for now. I'm not sure if we want it anchored there. Actually, I do think we want it anchored there because so if we change the UI scale, we want this anchor to, this anchor to work. Does anyone have 1619 anymore? Or 16:9? Wait. What is this? This aspect ratio looks awful. But that'll work for now because we're gonna have a thing across the top, remember. We'll figure out this other shit as we go. That looks fine. We might have to put like a collider or something on there later. But underneath here, we want to put in the stuff, the info that we did. So we're gonna put a bunch of text boxes here, and this is underneath the province here. We're gonna do text. This is gonna be province name. Do we need province name? I'm gonna actually put text at the end of this, so that I know that it's a text box. And we're gonna need population. Population text, and we're gonna need, whoops, did I not duplicate this? I was trying to duplicate that. We're gonna need a province name text. We're gonna need, I guess Control D doesn't work unless I select this. Province name, population. What was the other things we did? The player nation. Do we want to know? Do we want to show the other players who owns that, or do we want it to be a mystery? Maybe later on we'll do it for now, but maybe later on we'll have to, like, you have to send in some sort of spy or something. I'm trying to think. Do 4X games? I'm pretty sure every 4X game I've ever played has shown who I'm like staring. And if it looks like I'm staring up at the wall, it's because I am. That's how I think. So we need the player. Yeah, we'll put that in there. Province name, the enemy nation is who we want on here as well. This will be enemy, or not enemy nation, nation owner. Uh, province, province owner text. Get rid of that crap. And what order do we want it in? Probably we want this in here. I like to put everything exactly the same as I'm going to put it in the code on here. We want the province owner, province name, and the province text. Okay, so this thing can't, they're all stacked on top of each other right now. We'll put province owner here, and we'll move this up towards the top. Negative 50. Nope, 50. How about 200? And then down here, you can adjust what this stuff does. So we want it centered. We want to auto size it. And if we go back to the scene, we actually don't want it like this. We want it to be like this to each side, because these might be resized when we change the same, like when I was fucking around with this. Later on, we might change this, and we want it to resize and not be stuck or weird. We'll go to the next one. Let's go back to scene. We're right here. Province owner, we want. Province name, we want. We're just going to call this we're going to change this. And the reason why, one of the reasons why we're changing that is because we want to be able to tell when we've done. If it just said new text. What did we do with this one? 50. Position is 200. How about position just 200? Province name, we'll put position 100. And we're going to make this wider again. And this wider. What is the size on this? Height 63. How about 50? 420. How about 400? Oh, it's doing. Okay, so I guess we got to do 420, huh? Did we do 420 on this panel? We did do 420 on this panel. What a weird thing to do. Really? Oh, it's because I dragged it around. Let's do 400. That's actually okay that there's that little line there. And 600. And then go back to this text. We're going to this is just all temporary. As we make the game, we're going to fix it. And this one was, what was this one? 50 by 400. 400 by 50. There is a way to change all these things at once, but it's weird and I don't like it. Population. And this one we can just leave in the center right there, but we are going to want to drag these edges out. And we'll change this to 0. And 400 by 50, we'll go down to here. And if we had made this one first and then just duplicated it, I would have remembered all this shit. All these settings that I'm manually changing one at a time. All right, so we got 3 text things. If we go back to the controller, we should have, this load script. And if we go back to our code, we need to put that in this load script, we need to put those things in here. And there is a way to do it without dragging and dropping, but we'll worry about that later. Right now, we're going to just half-ass everything. This can be private. Can this be private? This can be public. This is going to be a text mesh pro. I like to make everything private if possible. And this is going to be, what was the first one at the top? Province owner. Owner text. Serialized field makes it so if you make I guess I actually don't need this to be a serialized field since this is public. If it was private, I would need serialized field up there. Public text mesh pro. Yeah. What was it? Owner name? Owner nation name, I think. And I see a typo in there. Province owner, we already did that. Province name. Whoops. Province owner text. Province name. name text. Where is this going to be attached to? This is going to be. All right, no, that's fine. I was thinking in my brain. We'll get to that in a second. My brain. What was the last thing we were doing? Population. And then this last one will be public text. I'm pretty sure. We're going to need. Oh, this needs text at the end. Actually, we want to put this on a different script. Is that what we want to do? We would have to drag each one of those. No, we don't want to put it on a different script. Each one. So what I'm thinking about right now is we could also put, whoops, wrong one. We could also put this on each in the select province. We need to take that off of there. Well, we will eventually. On select province, we could put this in there, but we would need a whole thing. I'm trying to think. Each one we would have to drag down into there. So each province we'd have to drag, so that we'd have 6 draggy things there. And I hate doing that because, like I said, if you change one thing, then that shit all breaks. So on the world load, I think what we need, what I never tested. We should probably do that. I'll have to get rid of this other thing. We'll just comment it out. Select province. We will just comment this out. And we just want to make sure my dictionaries don't implode once I hit play. Well, they might be like, hey, no, you're making a dictionary wrong, man. You're a fucking idiot. Then we wait. So much waiting. All right, we didn't get any bugs, so we're fine. Nothing happens if we click on there, which is what we want because it doesn't have that thing on it. We get the names here. They're just not going onto the text thing here because I got rid of that text thing. I just commented it out. Okay, I'm thinking here. We want this on the controller out of laziness. And so I can drag each of these over here. But the issue is, what does this say? Does it have a 1 at the end? Get the fuck out of here. If I drag each of those over there, I can't use a static. Oh, actually, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Okay, I'm deep in thought that was unnecessary. So on select province, we want the on pointer click to, we don't need this in here anymore. This is done. That was just for testing. On pointer click, debug we might use. Debug. Yeah, we'll use the debug. We'll leave the debug in here, but I'm going to put what this is in the debug thing. Name of province. Okay, let me think here through this again. So when you click on a province, it's going to go to the world map, and it's going to go to the world map load, and it's going to change this thing. That's what it's going to do. It's going to update this text. So on select province, we'll put, and those are public over there. We got to put a thing here. And I still haven't like 100%, like I said, I'm a beginner. I haven't 100% figured out why we need to do this sometimes. So this is the thing. I'll just show you what I'm struggling with. Not struggling with, thinking about here. If I put in, so I made this public over here. I made this a public text message. If I put province owner text here, owner text, it doesn't know what that is, even though it's public. So I have to put in world map load, but it's still not going to like that because it's still well, let's pretend like we're doing it. Province owner is going to be, and we're going to pull this actually from the province owner for, it's going to have to check. Let's not do province owner first. Let's do province name. Province name will be the first thing we want to do. It'll be the easiest. We're going to have an if statement in there. So on pointer click world map dot load dot text is going, see, it's mad at us still. It's like, hey, you can't do this. It says it requires you to have a non-static field method or whatever. So that, or that's what it currently is, and it needs to be a static field. So I know when to put them in correctly, but I don't know why it does that, if that makes sense. Like, I know that I need to put static up here, but the problem is if I put static up here and then I hit save, let's do it on the one we're working on. If I put static up here and hit save and then go back to here, it usually, when I say usually, it should, or we're just waiting for it to compile. It should take away the thing. See how it took it away? It's no longer available in here. And if I can't put static, I don't think I can put serialized field to serialized field. There's a typo in here somewhere. Serialized field. It's also, I don't think it's going to do anything. Let's see. Let's find out. Yeah, so once you put static in there, you can't use this drag and drop thing, which later it won't matter, but for this, like, this bullshit part, I want to be able to drag and drop stuff. Later on, we're going to get rid of all this dragging and dropping thing. But right now, we want to be somewhat simple. So what we have to do instead, and I think I can do, we don't even need a serialized field, a private world map load, and this is going to be an instance, and this is the part that I don't quite understand, is like how these instances work. Every time I think I understand how they work, they don't. It doesn't work the same way. So this is going to be an instance of this, and we're going to put that in there. And so now that fixes this. It doesn't mind that because we're making an instance of this world map, I think. Okay. So then we're gonna apply the world. This is gonna we're just gonna put the name in there. That's it. We're just gonna go. That's all we're doing. Is we're all that work just to put the name in this one spot. Whoops, wrong game. We're gonna go back to here, and we're gonna hit play. And currently, nothing should work. No, everything should work. I don't see it keeps changing. So this is not full screen. I don't know why it keeps doing that. So if we click this, oh, we forgot to drag and drop something. Goddamn dragging and dropping. This needs to go in here, and this needs to go in here. The reason why I see these are named exactly the same, the variable and the thing, even though you already know in here, it's already telling you that this is a text mesh pro. You know, you already know that, but I always name them all the same because later on, man, it can get so confusing. I like this shit. I know exactly where these things are going. This population text is exactly that name over here. Otherwise, it gets so confusing. We still have some other references missing. What reference do you want? Console. Bring it to me. Name. How about that? What is it wanting? Okay, so this private. Do I need to make this public? No. Is this so? There's a better. We should do this the better way. Object not set to an instance. That's there. Oh man, is it gonna make me do that? Dragon? No. Okay. Object not reference not set to an instance of an object. This is happening on 12. Yeah, it doesn't like province name text. World map. What is this little dots? Make it read only. Does this have to be public? I don't think it does, because I'm only using... Mm, this is public. This has to be public because I'm trying to access it from over there. So there is that we could do this the correct way instead of my fucking around here temporarily. It's just gonna be such a much larger pain. You know what? It's break time for me. So why don't we do that? Why don't we do this the correct way and it will solve us some issues. I'm gonna have to stick a script on here though. The controller script, which is currently nothing. It's pretty much the world load. Well, it has the dictionaries in there, which we would leave that there. And we want these static. Not sure why this isn't working though. It should just create its own private world map load. Maybe I can't do it. What is this one? Oh, we don't need that one open anymore for now. This shouldn't actually even be, it's accessing back to there, but it's not. I wonder why it doesn't like that. At least I don't think it's the this part, because it has that. This usually says, yeah, this can be simplified. What is the simplification you want me to do? Change it to. You just want me to change it to name. World map. I don't think that has to be public. Because, no, it doesn't have to be public. Let's see here. Let's try again. I know I said I was going to take a break, but I'm thinking. I'm thinking about it. No, it doesn't like it. And this has province name text. Name text. The reason why we have to put this dot text behind it is because we're actually accessing. There's a bunch of different things we could put over here. We can put different things in here, you know. Yeah, but we want to tell it. We want to actually get the text, not, you know, we want to change the text. When I was hitting that, was the no, the console's not coming. All right, well, I'm gonna go smoke real quick. But I'll be back, and we're gonna fix. So I never I try to never like end my night of programming with a bug because then it just is too daunting for the next time I come back. So we're gonna get this. I told you this is gonna take forever. It's my incompetence. Anyways, I'll be right back. Yeah, less than 5 minutes. All right, I'm back. And I'm just thinking about that outside. I actually don't know why it's doing that. It should work, I think. Let's look at this one. We have another. Oh, I have them in the select thing. Oh no, those are different. Those are choices. Province panel. We need that. Later, we'll need that. How was I doing? Province box info. This is the one we want. Oh, see, there. How do I call this when they select? Back to select. Got too much shit open. Too many things. Oh man, I have that. I was working on making this multiplayer. Multiplayer just burns me out. The Unity multi. Oh, it's right here. Let's put these together. So how am I looking at this? Yeah. So in here, I don't need all this game object. On awake, it is getting these child. Oh, you have to use transform. That's why that wasn't working in that other code. I forgot the transform thing. All right, we'll do this the correct way. Well, the way I like to do it. I don't know why this isn't working, but we'll get rid of this and we'll do this. We're gonna make another script that is gonna be for. Now this is bad, but that's okay because we're gonna fix that in a second. We're gonna do another script here, and we're going to go. You just add more scripts. That's the UI province panel. We're gonna just keep adding scripts here until we've done all of the scripts. We don't need this shit here. We're gonna go back to our. Well, actually, we need this stuff to this thing. We're gonna get this out of here, and we're gonna put it in here, and then we're gonna do on awake. No, let's do it on start. Awake comes before start, and I want the other thing to be awake first. I think I want that, so we'll do it on start. We don't need that just now. Then we'll go back. We're gonna stick this. You know, I did have a thought of how that. Well, it's too late now. Of what my issue was is I was dragging. No, these aren't text boxes. Yeah, that thought was wrong. We're gonna get. Well, I saved this. I guess it didn't compile because there's that bug. That's fine. We don't need this load at all right now. We're gonna put this over here. We're gonna need this here. We're basically gonna copy this from my other thing, which is right here. We're gonna take one of these, and we don't need the beginning part, but that's okay. We're gonna go. Need a game object up here, which is fine. Private game object, and it's going to be no, is it? No, it's going to be a public game object. Can I make it a static game object? I can. Public game object, province panel, and then we're gonna put awake in here actually. On awake, we're going to say province panel equals this. Whoops. Oh, I can't do this game object. I don't need the this there. I'm gonna leave the this there just so that I know because I get confused so easily. And then we're gonna make this province panel here. And what am I doing with all of this? No, not province panel. We want this to be province owner text. Oh, I guess we don't need the game object. I'm gonna have a typo here. I was like, why is that have an issue? I guess we don't need this. We don't need this crap. Yeah, we don't need this crap. I'm just gonna comment it out for now though, because we might need this crap later. Because we are gonna turn on that panel on and off later. Right? Yeah. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll just leave that commented out for now. So what this is going to do is it's going to go the province owner text, this text GUI thing is going to be this thing that this script is attached to. It's going to get the child 0, which is 1, and it's going to get that component, the child component, and hopefully it's going to be province owner text, and then we're going to have another one that is going to be, we're going to have 2 of these, and we're going to change these to name and population. Name, population, and it doesn't care. Oh, we don't need province population. I probably should call it province population, honestly. But yeah, let's call it province population. Whoops, capital, no. Province population. All right, and it doesn't care, but we want these. It doesn't warn you about this, but we want these to be different. So what do we got? Province owner. So these should all on start be these should be assigned, and then we can make these static now. And that means other scripts can get to these things. And there might be a better way to do it, but this is the way I figured it out. So from select province, we're going to put this thing, and we're going to say UI province panel with that's green. And green works now because it's static. And the reason why we're allowed to do static is because we're not using, we're not dragging and dropping things in the inspector here. But the thing is, we still got this other, no, it still has, we need to get it to, for some reason, and this is just with this newest one, and sometimes it won't recompile. I think it's done. No, it's working. I haven't been watching my, yeah, we're fine. So basically right now, we can clear this crap. Hit play. I don't think this is going to work. I think I missed something. Oh, I do know. I didn't attach the script to province panel. It's not going to work. We're going to put this thing in here. We're going to put that there. And the reason why I named that script UI was because this is part of the UI. And we could actually put this, we could change this to UI canvas. Doesn't matter. We haven't done anything. We haven't named anything. We haven't done anything with that. I still have a feeling this isn't going to work. I think I'm missing a step. But we'll try it. Oh, no, it worked. There we go. So here we are. No bugs. All we got in here is this matches what we're clicking on. East is east, west is west. And war will happen. So now we know how the name is going to get populated, and now the province name, and we probably could just get rid of this debug thing. Well, I will leave it there for now. So on click, it's going to get the province name, and now we need to get it. But before that, we wanted to have the province owner, I think. Province owner dot text is going to equal what? And that we're going to get from the dictionary that we made over here. So I hear a cat crying. So when I program, I like focus. And I don't know if I'll do another stream of programming, but I like get all focused, and like any interruptions upset me. So I guess I have to let this cat out. We don't need this here anymore. I like these things to be all empty of things they're not in use. I think that's from like my 30-year-old programming class where they're like, always take that shit out. Hey, didn't I take you out of here? I hear a cat doing something. All right, let me let this cat out. It'll be 2 seconds. All right. Well, the cat saw that it was raining outside and decided it didn't want to go outside. So, anyways, we're going to pull from this dictionary and we are going to get this other information from the dictionary. So, that's why we made it a dictionary instead of a list. Why am I keep clicking on the same thing? So, on select province, where this is going to be world map load dot what did we call the provinces? And then on here, we're just going to use the name of the thing they clicked. Dot, what is the first one? Owner? What did we call it? Owner name. Owner, it's not showing up automatically. I'm doing something wrong. Owner name. Why would it be a capital? It wouldn't be a capital. Owner main name. Dot text. No, it's a string already. Owner name. Why don't you like this? Does not define a owner name. No. What did I call it? Did I not call it owner name? I guess we could pull that thing up again, huh? I closed it. I said we didn't need that anymore. Gotta wait. There's so much waiting with this. And if you're in like a stream of, you're like, oh, I know what I'm doing. It's really a pain. Owner name. Province. Did I make my dictionary wrong? I may have made my dictionary wrong. Owner name, public string, province, select province, load province's name. What do you want here? List province does not contain a definition for owner name. What does it contain a definition for there, buddy? Let's go back to here. I did something wrong here. List province owner name. No, it's in there. New. Oh, do I have to put that quotes in there? I wonder if I do. Oh, no. Let's pretend like let's fake it. No, it still doesn't like that. The list province does not contain a definition for owner name and no accessible cannot be found. Are you missing a using directive? Oh, do I have to make this? Didn't I already make this a static? Public static dictionary string list. I like it. I like all my shit clean is what I was doing there. List province. Do I have like a typo? No, because it would automatically be filling this in. Province owner name. I guess I could get rid of this thing too. I could just call it ID. We don't need this to be have province in here. We already know it's a province ID for this particular part. Like I said, I like to rename everything all the time. Awake. New list. How are we accessing the other one? Oh, does this have to have a 0 at the end? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. So it's the dictionary, then the list part. That's the issue. They currently only have one item in there. Maybe I'm doing dictionaries wrong. Someone tell me if I'm doing dictionaries wrong. But the province list. So in the province, maybe I don't need a list in there. Maybe I can just do a dictionary. Let's think about that for a second. Let's go back to how would I do that? No, I think I need to have that. A dictionary just. Whatever, this works. You might be wrong. Like I said, tell me if I'm doing something wrong. Tell me how to fix my code. Anyways, we can go. This can go back to name. Name. So when it has to be named, because when you're clicking on it, it's getting the name of the object we're getting, and then it's going to put the owner name to go there. It's just going to get the province name there. And that was an extra thing there. UI province panel dot province population dot text equals world map load provinces name 0 dot population. I really should just change that to province population. No, I'm not calling it province population. What's your problem now? Oh, right. So this is a toString. This is an integer, an int and we need to change it into a string. So back to like programming professionals. This is another thing that took me like an hour to figure out how to change to string. But now that I, like a professional would know how to do that in 1 second. So it's interesting. Like it's interesting being a beginner and seeing my improvement. Like if this makes sense. Like the first time it took me like an hour to figure out how to make something to a string, but now I just know it's just dot to string. Like that's so easy. But at the time I didn't know that. So hopefully this will work where we're pulling this. Let's put it this way. And what we will do is, this is going to be province name, province, what did I call it? Owner name. Oh, we don't even have that on there. We got rid of that. I forgot about that. We might want to put that back. We'll see. I'm control Zing there. So yeah, it's interesting. Like, that there's an easy way to make it to string. So this should all work. It's probably not, but we gotta see what we're gonna do here. And see how this works. And I want to do a few more things here before I call it a night. So yeah, there we go. It says player West and the population. Perfect. This is exactly what we want, except that we don't know what this shit is. So let's turn this off and go back to here and give this some information. This will be owner. Whoops. Text owner plus, and then that will add the thing to the end. This will put in here province. We should probably put a thing, and then we'll putting a space behind this because it's going to put exactly what we want here. And then we'll put in here population. We want this struggles. And there's another way to do this. I saw this and someone else doing with like $signs and stuff. I don't know what the fuck that is. This way works for me. And we're going to do this again. Once again, I test all the time. Just constantly test. Owner, province, population. I'd like to put a comma in there. I wonder how to do that. I've never done that before. So now we have a working, here we go, we have a working thing. Except we want to make sure that we can't see the population. And we'll do that right now. It shouldn't be that hard. And how will we do that? We need another list. I'm thinking here. But I think we can do it without another list for now. So we're going to half-ass it here. In the world load, we're going to call this public static string player name and public static string enemy name. And then on awake, we'll do it after this, equals, what do we call it in the list? Oh, it's right in front of me. Player. And this is just temporary because we're gonna make a list and stuff for the player, and we're gonna have leaders just like in CK3. So like probably when you start the game up for the first time, you'll have like a character creation page. And man, I hate making character creation pages. I made it in that cult game. Maybe I'll show. I think I did in the cult game. Yeah, maybe I'll show that. We'll make it like something like that. Um, but right now we just need a temporary thing to work, and we can actually put some notes in here, probably, so that later on we don't know what this is, why this is here. We do character creation, and we'll probably have like independent nations and stuff too. We'll have like the AI nations, independent nations, and stuff like that. But that's so far off. Like right now, we want to do the most basic shit as we possibly can, and we should probably put. Well, right for now, and we're gonna change. We're gonna change these. I don't want all this text in here. We're gonna change like this will not be west. It will be some other thing and some other part. But we're going basic right now. What the fuck was I doing? I got sidetracked clicking on things, typing in things, and putting in comments. Oh, I know what we're gonna do. Okay, so on select province, what we want to make sure though, so right now, if they left click on something, if we go to here and they left click, they're going to get all this information, but we actually don't want to show the population unless the name equals, so if world map equals, what we need, player name equals, is equal to world map provinces name 0 dot owner name. Is that what was owner name? This is typo in here. Owner name. So East Province owner name. Yep, that's right. If the player name, because right now we only have the player name, is equal to the owner name, then we're going to do something. And what we're going to do is we're going to show this. Else, this is going to, actually we could have brought that other part, is going to equal ulation unknown. All right, is my thought process working here? So they're going to left click on the thing. It will show the owner, it will show the province name, but it will only show it if the province owner name equals the player name, which is currently we just have this half-assed in here. So it's half-assed, and a player name is player name, and else it's just going to put out province unknown. So the left one, and if we go back to here, province 1, the west, is owned by the player, and province east is owned by the enemy. So this should work where how we want this to work is left click on the white one, it will show us the population. On the left one will show us the population, the right one will show us unknown population. And I'll push all this code. All right, we got the pop. There we go. That's exactly what we want. Except I don't like how this goes to the edge. We can fix that pretty easily. We just go to these text ones, and you can put a border. I think it's down here. Margins, right and left. I don't know how much. Let's say like 5. How much is 5? 5 is not very much. See, you can see this moved in a tiny bit. And then we'll left, we'll put 5 here. And we'll do that the same on all these, just while I'm here. I mean, this shit isn't gonna, we're gonna have a beautification day, is what we're gonna do. And then let's hit play again and to see how that looks. It's a very little bit amount, but I just hate when it goes to the very edge of that shit. We might want to do like 50 for all I know. But right now, all right, that's fine. Let's do 15, just for the fuck of it. Extra settings, 15. It's not that, 15 looks, whoa, not top. 15. And we can do 15. Like this is we made some basic shit here today. And then we'll do 15 here. And what time is it? 8 o'clock. What is the next step? Let's think about this. Oh, did we finish our thing? I need my baby steps. Add basic info and show in you. Yeah. Oh, I didn't put in that. We're done though. We fucking did it. We fucking did it. Fucking did it. And then we're gonna close and comment. Yeah. That shit's done. So what's next? We want the most basic stuff. We've done the most basic stuff. Let's look at our game here. And I will, once we have the most basic shit done, we will make it a real game. Like right now, I just want the basic shit working, including like combat and all that. Then we'll start like expanding on what we want to do. So what we want to like have a build thing. That seems too easy though, because that's just gonna be a button that will build. Time is currently, we haven't done any time passing, but that doesn't matter yet. What else? Like this is so. I know it seems really simple, but once we have the very all right, you know what? We need to have a unit selection, and this is where it's going to get weird because the units are going to be on top of each other. And I don't want to do any animations right now. Fucking animations drive me insane. So we're going to do this animation list. So we're going to have a new thing. I don't think we'll do much of this, but, and we're going to call this units. I wonder if we can make it invisible for the, I haven't even tried to do that in any game, is make it invisible for one person. Wonder how we do that. Well, we'll figure it out later. We'll want a clickable unit. We'll put a circle, 2D sprite, a circle. It's too big though. We will scale it. I don't know why that's on that level. To 0.5. That one doesn't really matter, but we'll do it anyways. And I don't know why this is there. Is this in some weird? Oh, it is. -10. I noticed. Okay, so here's a circle. Is that this circle? No. What is this circle? Where's my selection tool here? It does get a little hard to see sometimes. What are the? Oh, these are like circles for this other thing in the background. Yeah, so it's right there. So we want a unit. We're gonna want to make it selectable. Though, just thinking, we first probably, well, we'll give it a different color too. I don't know why this pops up over here. Pink. And we're gonna need 2 units. One enemy. We should probably do this like gray, actually, since we're going with the white motif here. Gray. Oh, I have a gray down here. And let's do just 1 unit first. How do we want to center it? So when a unit appears, how are we going to do this? Because the first part's done. The most basic shit is done. We can put in the leader stuff, like who you are. Because we're gonna instantiate the units. Let's wait on the units for now, but we'll add that to our list of stuff. And like deep thought of how we want to do this. So the other thing is obviously you want to like have more of a plan than what I have. Um, basic units and movement, military units and movement. So we're going to turn this into convert to issue, and we're going to put this over here. Actually, it's not. It's not. It's in to do. Nation. We can do a nation panel. How long have we been? 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it's 8 o'clock. Maybe I should call it a night. The next thing we're going to do, though, is I want to call it the leader panel, but I think that's going to confuse what I think it is later because the leader panel is, uh, owner panel. What I'm talking about is what I want to do is have back to this thing. We need to have a panel like a bar up here that has resources and stuff. So well, that's another thing we need to decide is what kind of resources we're going to use in the game. And once again, so I think most of the time when you're planning a game like this, you don't want to half-ass it and just start programming. You probably want to have all this shit thought out, but not today. And the other thing that just dawned on me is we need two more. We need two. Let's make the two more provinces because we actually need two more provinces. Why, you ask? Because we need to move. We need to test moving between provinces that we own and then test fighting provinces. So we could actually do it with one more province. Let's do one more province. Let's duplicate this guy, and then let's call this the North Province, and we'll move it. I don't know where it is currently. We will move it. Where are you, little buddy? Oh, we should have duplicated the other one, but that's okay. We'll move this to 0 and 1. And yeah, I totally forgot about independent provinces. So we're going to need to set up. So independent provinces are going to be the same thing. And we probably should redo our whole thing here. Because currently, well, that's fine. Let's make sure this is a different color though. We're going, like I said, I don't know why this pops up over here. We're gonna make it gray for independent. I just don't want to use green over here. But maybe we should do a color over here. Let's do a color. I don't want to use green because I'm not. I know it's just Christmas, but it's too much Christmas. Let's do like a blue. Yeah, then I'll save this blue down here. So if you click down here, it will save what you have, and you can delete them. But I need these for the other stuff. Okay, so we have blue, red, and gray. So we're gonna move this up here just because I want the north. I want the thing to be in this order. So we also need. I'm gonna save this. We're gonna go back to here. We're gonna go back to the world load. We already are here. These have all changed now, but we're not gonna. We're gonna do this. We're gonna call this north, and this is gonna be 1, 2, 3. We're gonna call this independent. Is that how you spell independent? Close enough. And now that actually should still work. So we have 3 provinces. 1 is independent. And we won't have any when we do the until we later. Well, now I kind of want to do the unit thing. If we click on this thing, hey, something broke. Oh, did I turn off that thing? No, our province thing is missing. Our UI thing is missing. Should be there. Missing. Oh, I'm just zoomed in. I was zoomed in. When we start moving the camera around, when we put down a real larger map and we start moving the camera around, we're gonna have that issue a bunch. Okay, west unknown population, independent unknown population. So it still works because it doesn't match the if statement. It doesn't match. Uh, so then the other thing we're gonna want to do here. So owner is independent, enemy population. That all works. Feel like it shouldn't work. Oh, I was just thinking, let's fuck with this unit concept for a little bit. We're gonna want this to be, and I always make this like big gaps so that things can go. This is gonna be 10. So when we turn this on, the unit. Oh, he's missing. Where is he? Where are you, unit buddy? Oh, we need to wait. Let's just double click on here. I put him off to the side. I guess I should still be able to see him in game. Why can't I see you, little buddy? Rendering layer. Yeah, those are all defaults. Oh, because this is -10? That's the reason. All right, so on everything that's on the 0Z layer, what are you doing on a non-zero layer? These should be all on the same. This one, where this empty thing is, probably doesn't matter. So the first thing we want to do is actually, so we're going to use like prefabs and stuff too. We're going to prefab out these units, but first thing we want to do is we're not going to prefab shit. We're going to make this selectable. So we're going to need another script here. Might as well keep working on this. I'll probably stream a video game later. Me and my love of video games streaming. I love video games, man. They make the world better. We're gonna have select units. We're gonna create a new script called select unit, and we've already done like half of this work earlier. And this always happens when this thing pops up the first time on mine. I don't know if it's just me or what. It doesn't actually bring up this thing. Do it twice. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this crap. We're gonna go back to our select province thing. We're just gonna copy all this shit over. Yeah, we need that eye clicker thing too. Eye pointer clicker thing. We're gonna need this. I'm gonna put all this over here, and we're gonna need eye pointer click handler at the end, and get rid of this crap. We don't need it. It wouldn't let me do that. All right. Go through here. Left click. We don't need any of this shit. We don't need this shit. Well, we'll leave that there. We're currently not using right click anywhere. We will use right click to move the unit there, to move it towards. But right now, we don't need name of province. This is going to be name of unit. I guess we'll leave that capital. And we need to attach this to the unit. The unit will instantiate the unit, which means like make it appear in here when we will generate a unit that way. But that's later. Everything right now is just the most basic shit. That's why it's all circles and stuff. We're also gonna need to put an arrow to show where it's gonna go to. And then when we make the map, it's gonna be pretty brutal because I don't know what's going on here. Oh, I didn't put a collider on here. Add a collider. We'll have a circle 2D collider, and we'll make sure this is the right size because sometimes they come out funky. That's why I check that every time. And I think that's all I needed. The collider is just for the laser, the ray casting. Was it a collider? Yeah, it was a collider that we put on there. Name of circuit unit is circle. So like, look at how much faster we do shit now. um, let's do this just for fun too. We're gonna turn. We're gonna go back to the project. We're gonna create a new folder, and we're gonna call this prefabs. And then we're gonna put this prefab in here. And now we have a prefab of a circle, and then we can delete this circle. And then we're going to instantiate this, but how are we going to instantiate it? Is we're going to put a button on the UI. So from here, we're going to add a button, a UI button. Buttons are so easy in this. I can't believe how fucking easy they are. We're going to go back to here because we'll put it at the very bottom. Not the very bottom. We'll put it at like negative or whatever, 50. No, it is negative. Negative 200. Perfect. We're going to change the text on this button to create unit. I'm just thinking of how are we going to do the combat? Are we going to do like squad based combat? I don't know. We'll deal with that later. It's not going to be it's going to be like Crusader Kings, but I'm trying to think like when you raise a unit, how much of your population? It doesn't matter right now. Anyways, so create a unit has a button thing on it. If we go down to this button, and we're going to change this name to unit creation button. It has a button thing down here, so then you can just hit click and you can make it, or you can on click, you can put anything, any script in here. And so we're gonna have under the controller, I think. Yeah, let's put it under the controller. And I haven't instantiated shit in forever, so we're gonna have to remember that too. What did I call this? On load. We'll do this. Nah, we'll make it a new script. Instantiate. Create unit. Nope, no spaces. Create unit. And then I gotta remember how to instantiate something, but I have it over here. We're also gonna do a lot of like saving to disk. I want everything to be saved to disk at some point. I think it's under scene load. Load game is what it's under. Bring me to load game, my friend. If you hold control and click on something, it will bring you to it. So that we don't need. Actually, we could do this. That would make us have to put another list though. Which isn't bad. But let's do the instantiation first. I hope I'm using the right word. Can't remember why I have all these things assigned after the prefab is instantiated. Where the fuck is my instantiate thing? This is loading. We'll get to that. Add to the token. Oh, this is the player token though, which starts out. I need there's a button. There's a button that I created. In-game panel, select province. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called like create. It's like a test button. So it's spawn follower. That's what it's called. So in my cult game, you have like followers, like just a few of them. You know, you probably want a bunch. Oh yeah, and then I'm naming the token. All right, so this is what we want it. We're in the right. So we're adding to this to the list, which we don't need a list right now. We just want to instantiate a new follower. Here we go. Instantiate, spawn the token, put in location, stop its rotation. But why are we assigning it to this list? Because this list has a game object assigned to it. That's fine. We don't need that right now. We just need this. Token prefab. We need to tell it what the token prefab is. We just need this. I like. Where are we? Select unit. No, that didn't appear. We got create. We want to create unit button here. Create unit. Create unit. Open it, you son of a bitch. Okay. We're going to do public void create unit button. This will be able to spawn a bazillion of them though. Maybe we should say, whoops, if yeah, we'll need a thing here though. Private int number of unites, and we're gonna tell it equals 1 for right now. If no, we want the 0. We want the 0 for now. We don't need to put anything in there. I guess it would be null, but it doesn't matter. If number of units is less than or equal to 1, less than or equal to 1, then instantiate this fucker. We need a token prefab, and we're going to rename that to unit prefab though. Private game object, and we'll actually make this a serialized field so we can drag and drop the thing. Because right now I'm lazy about this. We'll put a resources folder later, and we'll be able to upload stuff. Serialize. See, I can't spell anything, so I always need them to do it for me. But if they're touching, it won't do it. Serialize field, game object, unit prefab. This is all out of laziness. Most of this stuff. So this is the other thing when I do all this programming, is I keep it in my mind that 90% of this stuff is going to be rewritten at some point. It's just to get things working, so I know it's possible. And then because we're going to run into all sorts of issues as we go through stuff. I should have kept this comment on here. This is a good comment. Put it in a location and stop its rotation. Transform position. So that's good. We're going to want to put, where are we putting this currently? Where did we put in this other game? Where was I sticking that shit? I was just putting it. Let's see where it gets instantiated. Oh, I was just instantiating at some random spot. We'll want to probably put this some other spot, but we'll deal with that in a second. In fact, I know we're gonna want to put this in the center of the province. So we'll probably put another, because remember the provinces aren't going to always be squares. Later on, they're going to change shape, and so that if we look at the Colt one in this Portland, where's my game thing? Like, so these provinces. Oh, I can't zoom in and out. I can't zoom in and out unless I'm hitting play here, and we could have done this differently. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. This one's much more complicated because the units move around. Where's my game? But I forgot I have this. So the units will move on like through the streets and stuff of Portland to get there. But ours we're gonna do it like CK3 where they just teleport over once the time's up. But so part of this is what I'm talking about. We can't just tell it like move to the center of the position of. I mean, we can give it a shot, but the position of the province, we don't want to, because eventually the provinces are going to be weird shapes like this. So we're going to put it like an actual game object in here that is the center. So if we look, the game's still playing, and I'm in like my pause menu or something. If we look here on this as an example, we're going to, what was I talking about? All right, so we're going to have a center. If we go zoom into the Laurel Horse Center, these are like other game objects that are set because like this one's like upside down L shaped, and so like see how it's like this weird shape. Like we have to manually place a center, and so even though in our game everything's a square, when we get to that point, wherever we lost it here, where's our when we get to that point, it's not going to be a square. We're going to have like weird shaped shit. And so we'll probably have to have a center. We might just, for now, we'll have the units go into the center. But eventually we're not going to want that. I don't wonder what this circle is. That's not the unit circle. I deleted that. What is this circle? Is that part of the global lighting? It is. It's part of the global lighting. What is this little thing supposed to be? Is that part of the event system? It is. That's supposed to be a joystick. I think I can turn that shit off so I don't have to see it. But whatever. We'll not worry about it right now. So back to what the fuck I was talking about. What the fuck was I talking about? Okay, we need to instantiate a token. So we need to do two things. I think I saved that, didn't I? And we'll just see where it appears. I didn't save it. Instantiate a token. And we're going to want it to appear under units. We don't want it to appear. It's just going to put it some random place, but we'll do that later. We'll deal with that later. We need. I wonder. Oh, we'll put it under the controller for now. We're gonna put create unit under the. I'm thinking actually, let's put it under. No, let's put it under the controller for now, just for the fuck of it. And oh, I didn't like that. Sometimes it gets weird, especially this version, and it won't let me put. That one was just my mistake. We gotta put a prefab in here, and we got a prefab of a circle, and then we gotta put. Oh, did I make that circle gray? I think I did. I did make it gray. Let's make it some other weird color, just so we can see. Light blue. There we go. We need to save that. Let's make sure it looks okay. We can delete this. And then from the button, we need to add in this thing, which we already partially added in. And we're going to go to create unit, and then we're going to go create unit button. Now this button is going to do that. We haven't placed this button. No, we didn't. We placed that button. We're going to hit play, our basic game here. And then I want them to fight eventually. Create unit. Okay, so it puts it over there, but it does work. It tells us it's a clone. Oh, it actually put it under units. I think that's just a coincidence. That's a coincidence. We wanted to actually stick it under there because we might want to count down the list. So remember when I did the children's thing up here for this, and I just added these by child 0, 1, 2. We might want to do that in the units. But I'm thinking here, when we hit this button, we actually want this to appear in the center here. So let's see if we can do that real quick, and then I'm going to call it a night for this. I'm kind of getting, so I wasn't sure if I would like this, and I only 3/4 like streaming game creation. Oh, I forgot one test. Game creation, but currently 3/4 is better. Better than 0. 75%. I want to click this a bunch of times. Okay, that isn't working. It's letting me create as much clones as I want. I only want to. What is my dumb if statement? If it's less than. Oh, well, it's a big problem here. Number of units equals number plus 1. There's another way to do this plus 1 thing too, and I can't remember how to do it. Let's do this again. All right. I think it's like plus or equal 1. Is that what it is? is it plus or equal 1? I think that might be it. We'll try it in a second here. Oh, let me make 2. Oh, because the first one is, so let's go back to here. We don't want this equals in here. If it's less than 1, and what does this say? Use operator plus plus. Yeah, it's even telling me like, hey, dumb shit, just use this plus plus thing. All right. Let's do this one more time. Let's get this shit out of here. I don't know why I don't like those up there, but I don't. I like my code clean. And oh, I'm on the wrong game. I was like, what is it saying? Time pause because of escape button. Wrong game there. Let's do this one. Eventually, we'll get away from that old game, and we'll make a much better one. Let me get over here. Reloading the domain. It kind of looks like there's a map of something going on there. Oh, it did it again, where it's changing the size of this thing. Depending on, all right, it'll only let me make 1, so that's fine. And what I'm gonna do actually is put an else in here. Just for fun, put in the debug log, just in case I forgot, you already have 1 unit. Just later, like next time I stream, like, why won't there more of them appear? Well, now we want the position to be. How are we going to do that? We want the transformed position to be the center of this blue place. And we can half-ass it, which is what we'll do. We'll half-ass it first, but what's the easiest way to half-ass this? Probably if we, where is this thing? It's right here. Let's half-ass this with, we can just have a private, oh no, we need a serialized field. Serialized field, private, because I'm not actually sure how this works. Province, game object, I guess. If we do, we just put, so I always half-ass it first before I do anything else. Stop it. Okay, I think that will actually work. Let's see. And then once I'm half-assed, like I was saying earlier, I've figured out getters and setters or properties. I just did the getter setter part. I just half-assed it until, you know, I figured out how it was working exactly. Well, not exactly, until I got the basics of it. So we want this project, we don't want it to be in north though. We want it to be in, get this out of here. I don't want to hold this west. And we just want to see if it's going to really appear in the center of west or where it's going to appear. I think it's going to appear in the center, but we'll see. Because this is a negative, I don't know. It did appear in the center. And my debug worked. I was just thinking, we should be able to stack units. But we'll deal with that later. Right now, everything we are good. And I think I'm going to call it a night. We get the basics of a 4x in real time straight. Time was passing. I know that you couldn't tell, but time was passing. Like on this one, it's really easy. Let me show you. We're not gonna have moving units. Oh, you know what I should have done here? We're not gonna have moving units. And I have a timer, I think, on here. Maybe I didn't put a timer on. Can't remember what the fuck I did. So we have there's a timer right there. So basically, time passes even like in all games, in any game that you're making, time is passing when you're in Unity even when you're just sitting here. So all we have to do is take that into effect. You know, I don't know why it says that transform height 500. I can't remember what that is for. So time is passing. Like if we can make it stop. So when you're doing a turn-based game, you're just ignoring the time that's passing. When you're doing a real-time game, you're just using the time that's passing. So it's, you know, it's passing. There it is. You know, we can speed it up. It's really easy. So that part's easy. The issues that it gets weird is when you start hitting escape and stuff. Uh, is it gets a little bit more complicated. But right now, like we'll harvest. We'll use the fact that Unity, like when you make a game in Unity, it's already real time. It's already doing stuff. It's already counting the frames. So that's what we'll do. And we'll use this same thing. We'll have like this same bar at the top with the time, speed up, you know, all this shit. I don't know. We don't need the day. Man, no, we do. We need the date. You know, it's year zero, and we'll because it's going to be a post-apocalyptic. And I don't think we're so on this one. This is part of the game is these bright colors and stuff. I only have like a few. I only have 6 provinces set up. I kind of just stopped making this one because I just get flaked out on stuff. But we're not going to use this like gray thing. We're going to make it more like it would be nice if we could have like the fake 3D like Crusader Kings has, but we'll deal with all that shit later. What we want to do right now is just get the very basics of everything, and all we need are those 3 provinces, like I was saying. And I don't know why this wants me to save it, but I'm going to do it anyways. We just need those 3 provinces and working with combat. The 3 provinces with combat working, creating units, moving a unit between. And so remember, they're not going to move. They're going to sit there, and there's a timer will be above their head and say it will take 2 weeks to get to, you know, fucking whatever, wherever. Just like Crusader Kings. And then when the 2 weeks is up, it will just teleport over there, and then there'll be combat. So we just need that stuff. What did we put on our list of things we want to do? We being me, create basic military units and movement. So that is next. Actually, we should probably break this into 2. Edit, because we just did the creation part. It doesn't really have a movement thing. I'm gonna put this in progress just for next time. Get over here, motherfucker. And then I'm gonna do unit movement. And next time well, let's update this, and we're gonna turn this into an issue, convert to issue, and then we're gonna have to, because during unit creation or unit movement, we're gonna have to keep track of time, and that's actually surprisingly easy. I thought doing the time shit, like I was just saying, it's already happening in games because the frames are being kept track of. Frames are passing. To flash the shit in your face, the frames are passing, so it's pretty easy. So next time we'll keep track of time, and then we'll have unit movement, because, well, maybe we'll do this first. And we'll keep adding as we go, and I will make sure that the basic military unit, hey, I let go of that ages ago. So yeah, that's it for now, and next time that's what we'll, keeping track of time is so easy. But we'll put it on this bar up here. That we have this space that we left for the bar. We'll put a bar up there, just like in the other game that I worked on, that I'll never finish. Maybe I will one day. I have like high hopes for it. It's like above my skill level. So I'll put a bar up here with, you know, like time stuff. That shouldn't be that hard. That's all copying it from the other code that I already did. And then we'll be getting into like, you know, each one of these 3 will work. I want to put in a way to, we'll put this on the Trello thing. We'll put a new one. Province improvements. Basically what that is that we'll, you know, at the beginning, every one of these games, you're going to have ways to improve your provinces. So we'll have, you know, we'll expand that list to say that there's a whatever fort level 0 there, and then, you know, that would be something you could click on, and it will take time, and so time will pass while that's happening. And once once again, we'll just have it like say it takes 5 minutes, and then we won't give any modifiers or anything. But once we have that done, you know, once we have performance improvements done, units, combat, we need to add in here, combat, combat. Turn that into an issue. It'll be dumb. And then once we have all that basic shit, we'll get some. We'll throw a map in the background and we'll do stuff like that, like North America map. And we'll start like drawing in and we'll fill in better information. But right now, most basic shit first. Test out how it works because we're gonna run into all sorts of problems. Everything we do is gonna be a fucking problem. So we'll check that out. But anyways, that's it for me now. Thank you for joining me. I will talk to you next time. Good night.